Welcome to space. What were you expecting? It's a dangerous place. Thank you for investing. Go there for your rota, there for your orders. Fill up these quotas, we'll bill for your quarters. Report to your foreman, but watch for marauders. Cause if you get eaten, there's fees for your mourners. Prosperity's there in the care of magnates. In halcyon heaven awaits. Did you think it was supposed to look like the poster? It mostly does, oh, if you'd only read closer. Just 10 short years to a new frontier. Snooze as you cruise and you'll wake up here. You've been trapped in that ship for an awful long time, so perhaps you have simply forgot what you signed. Oh, honestly, did you not read the colony policy that defined you as company property? That wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We put the dollar back into idolatry. If you're upset, you can rent an apology. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in teen, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure. So venture back down to your slum that's provided at generous prices. Your worth is determined by your sacrifices. A small term of service went down on the surface. Internment's a freebie that comes with the purchase. To earn the right to work. 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 To earn the right to give ourselves the right to die. Ourselves the right to live. To earn the right to die.
To our little town, why don't you settle down? You just fill out the paperwork and you could look around. We're happy as can be inside the valley cannery. We live to pack the cans of meat and not to question where it's found until we end up in the ground around the corner in the yard. You know, we thought we liked the sound of finding glory in the stars. The borders taught us to be proud of never reaching very far. So we earn what we're allowed and give it right back at the bar.
The ale to cure what ails you. Zero G brew, your favorite flavor. So work till you bleed, ennobled by labor, then purchase relief from your local retailer. If you'd rather drop dead, that's fine, but you know to dropping down dead, there's a fine. So you do your job and I'll do mine. I gotta meet a 6 foot deep bottom line. We make a fortune for the board by selling boredom door to door, because it's all that we deserve and it is all we can afford. The secrets of the universe and all the worlds to be explored, but our dreams are back on earth and now the work is our reward. And you'll be grateful for seats at the table, though it dips at one end and the bench is unstable. You may waste your days, but at least you were able to pay off your grave since we leased you your cradle. Be faithful and pray we'll repay what you invest. Behave as you slave for humanity's interest. On account that you're all on account and we're quickly amounting humanity's interest. You'd think that we'd sink to the brink of rebellion with markets dependent on peddling weapons. The architect tells them the secret to heaven is simply consuming whatever we sell them. We work to earn the right to work. 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 To earn the right to give ourselves the right to buy. Ourselves the right to live. To earn the right to die. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print. You should have read the fine print, my friend. Should have read the fine print. Welcome to our little town. Why don't you settle down? You just fill out the paperwork and you can look around. We work and then 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 we end up in the ground. Welcome to our little town. Why don't you settle down? You just fill out the paperwork and you can look around. We work and then we work and then we work and then we work and then we work. Should have read the fine print. Here and here and initial here. Welcome to the family.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to whatever the hell this is, because I'm bored and want to do some shit. I got some videos, we're going to talk about them. I got some ideas, we're going to talk about them. I've got a panel link over there that may or may not work, and if it doesn't work, I've got a couple of other ideas on how to do it. I gotta get rid of those things. Hi, I'm Sasquatch. How you doing? Let's see what we're going to have going on for the night. Where's the buttons? All the buttons are moved around because they hate me. They hate me, master. All right, so when showing off at the gym goes wrong. So I've never had this problem. But I hear tell that sometimes when people go to the gym, they get caught up in shenanigans of equipment or girls. Not that girls are actually real or anything, but that sort of thing. And I felt like giggling at people doing silly things, so here we are.
Hey, bro, I think she was feeling you.
What are you doing running? You're saying it was really good out?
It's the perfect texture for running. Very low impact on its dry snow so your feet don't get wet.
A few moments later.
All right, thanks. We've seen a lot of people out here, like you said, running, sledding, just enjoying it. One thing, oops.
He needs some milk.
That could happen, unfortunately. Looks like Chelsea's okay.
He needs some milk. All right, let's go to the chat because I am doing the thing. Izzy Pop gets the gold. Dennis Bigfoot gets the silver. And Bendy, a cartoon, gets the bronze. Welcome in. I appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all are still the only people here, although we've had about 20 people roll through during the intro tune. So, yeah, experiments off to a dazzling start. Love to keep my audience riveted.
You okay?
It's the perfect texture for running. Very low impact on its dry snow.
So we're doing 50-pound balloon split squats.
Just between me, you, and a hole in the ground, I suspect those Lululemon pants you got going on there are at their maximum capacity, chick. Like, don't be doing too many stretches in those things.
3, 4, 6, 7. Drop the weight. 10 more. 1, 2, 3. Oh. I call that the Tower of Motherfucking Terror.
If you're going to film at the gym, you need to do so responsibly with respect to other people. Filming somebody, zooming in on them, making them the subject of your video, slowing it down to make them out to be a gym creep as if they're staring at you, and then supporting comments like this is not filming responsibly with respect to other people. And let's think about it. Why did
Wait a second. Let me get this straight. Stop me if you've heard this one. You go to the gym, you set up your camera, you're standing there with your camera. Well, it's a phone. Someone doesn't notice a phone sitting over there in the corner. Fine, whatever. I mean, if you're looking at the cake, just admit you're looking at the cake. It's not, I don't think there's anything wrong with looking at cake. It's trying to take the cake that's a problem, as I understand it. And so, boys out there, look at the cake. The cake, even the milk, it's all there. It's reflected light, and you cannot trespass the eyes. Right? Read that somewhere.
Look at you. Besides the fact that it's absolutely normal to look at other people in a shared space like the gym, maybe it's because you have an entire film production set up with a tripod, a camera, a microphone, and you're talking to yourself. Or maybe
I think that's kind of a dead giveaway that she might be filming. And anyone that gets caught in that environment probably deserves the at least criticism for being so brash in public.
maybe it's because he grabbed some weights and he's walking past you, and it's normal to look at other people as you walk past them. Whatever the case may be, this man does nothing wrong. The only person caught in 4K in this video is you. The only creepy thing about this video is you doing this to this man, then posting on social media, all for some likes and attention. And this is exactly why so many people want filming banned in gyms, because of videos like this and creators like you. You need to do better.
That's an unfortunate pause.
Mind your own business.
There we go. That's better. I don't disagree with him. You like more pie than cake? You dirty, dirty man. Is there a link pinned at the top of the chat? I don't know if it stayed during the transition from horizontal to vertical. There's one at the top of my chat over here. I can see it, but links don't work in vertical because I forgot. Right. So we go to plan B.
Business.
My best friend noticed a creep just staring at me while I was working out.
5, 6, 7. Bro, what are you looking at? Like you keep looking in between the legs. Like you're being a creep. Like stop. You're not even working out. You're not even working out. Like go.
I'm saying just go somewhere else, please.
Yeah. Like you're being
if you're just using those dumbbells, to just go somewhere else, please. So you're like just standing right in front of us. Oh, we weird.
Put the camera facing them. How dare her? Sweetheart, how about you switch the camera angle and put that shit into wide mode so we can fit your massive ego into the shot? Sweetheart, ain't nobody staring at that flat pancake booty. And you're just like a rock. Why? Because we skipped the...
Oh, come on, man. Like you throw her into slow motion and give her the full winkle. That's not nice. Be nice. Do like Joe Cool says and be nice. I need to go clip some of that. I may do that later. All right, so I put up a community post with the link on it. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. I probably should have sent some links out before I did this, but I kind of rushed in and set everything up. There's not even a description in this madhouse. I was going to do that while we were watching it. Hey, Alex, welcome in. AJOT, links don't work in vertical because, you know, I'm a genius and I remember absolutely everything all the time. It's not my fault. It's YouTube's fault. Blame them. If you come up with a better idea, let me know.
Flat ones.
Statue of Liberty type stamp.
This woman's quick instincts, her cat-like reflexes, just might have saved this man's life. Guys, this is woman in a nutshell. Total lack of situational awareness. But to be honest, I wonder why he held the finish for so long. What the heck was he waiting for?
No. I have no idea. Why would you hold the finish that long?
What the heck was he waiting for? For the...
Right? There's no judges. You're not going to win anything. I don't want to post this. I'm gonna do that. That's exactly what I'm gonna do because I'm that type of dork.
Judges to let him know what he scored?
Would you date someone who's plus size?
No.
No. And why not? Because why don't you just work out? Do you go to the gym? No. Would y'all date someone who's plus size? Yes. Yeah, I would. What do y'all have to say to your friend here that wouldn't?
I don't even know.
I don't know. She's crazy. Like, are we talking like humongous or just like chubby? Someone the size of DJ Khaled. No. You would take DJ Khaled.
Not him, but like not him specifically, but like body, yeah.
Dang.
Like, what if they're a really nice person? Like, you fell in love with them.
We could work out together. When you have gone to the gym, have you seen people that are big there? No. They're like really fit. So I don't know. I haven't even seen those people. You've never seen a big person at the gym? No.
Girl, you act like your boyfriend's like 6-pack.
I don't know. His height makes up for it.
He's chubby.
We're talking about humongous. Wait, your boyfriend's plus size?
He's chubby. He's not like, I don't know,
Skinny.
He's like a little bit smaller
got
than
you,
DJ
bud.
Khaled. So whatever you consider.
All right.
So apparently that works well enough.
Yeah, I had to go at it twice, but yeah, I got in there.
Yeah. I've been tinkered. See, they just gave us the ability to do like a custom layout on here. And I got a bunch of them that I've been, I kind of did some predictive reasoning on some of them and it didn't really work out, right? All of this is too small for somebody looking on a phone. None of this is acceptably sized or located for a phone, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So I've got this one, but in order to use this one, I have, which That's not how it would end up being. But what I would have to do is use my OBS. I'll have to change a whole bunch of shit in my OBS to get it to line up right. And once that's done, it'll be real easy to like transfer back and forth from StreamYard stuff to OBS stuff without too much of a hiccup.
Yeah, they messed StreamYard up. I went back in there last Wednesday, and it's a damn mess.
Well, they've added some functionality. Most of what they've done is in the vertical format stuff, right? Which is why I'm over here playing with it right now, is I'm trying to figure out what can and can't be done. And like, if I do this thing, right? The share screen is so tiny, nobody can freaking see it. You have no fucking clue what's going on there, right? But I can use my OBS to set this up as like a panel setup with the video or whatever's being reacted to being the primary screen, but properly sized. And what I'll have to do is like set up like I'm set up right now and go to my own live stream on the phone and then watch how it actually fits the phone when it comes out the other end, because you can't really trust StreamYards over here for edges.
Yeah, that made my head hurt just listening to that.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's a whole bunch of layers all stacked together, but I actually kind of predicted some of it. So some of the stuff is already set up over there. I haven't really chewed into it yet because I haven't really had an opportunity to. So I was going to sit here and let y'all watch some of this while I play with my OBS and try to, and every now and then it's going to change and look different. But let's go ahead and do some of that.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm cooking supper listening.
Oh, I just finished grilling some burgers.
I hear you. Rice and beans, corn muffins, and that.
Ain't nothing wrong with corn muffins. A little bit of cornbread. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of cornbread. Let's see. That's gonna make. Actually, I've got to completely shut that part now. Here, y'all play. Y'all. Why do I not have sound now? That's weird. Huh.
Yeah, like Shaggy said, it wasn't me.
Okay. Oh, it must have been just that bit of the video was muted. Yeah, there must be music in the background.
He's like a little bit smaller than DJ Khaled.
What a strange point to have that particular problem.
My name is Optimus Prime.
So the question
I used to watch that podcast, whatever.
Oh, that's so rude. Oh, wow. I am Optimus Prime.
My name is Optimus Prime.
So the question just
Gorlok the Destroyer. I want to do some like Meat Canyon reactions. We might do that later.
Like Thanos' big sister.
Yeah, I don't.
because you're in a hurry. Natty or not?
Natty or not?
Yes.
None of your business, natty or not.
This is true, but people would be curious to know.
Right, and I don't care what people think.
So not natty?
So none of your business.
Brother, leave that man alone. Obviously, Natty. Her face says 100% naturally on 2,000 milligrams of testosterone. Is it Turan or Turen?
Starfish. I film myself stretching because it makes my fat ass look amazing, and then I film myself loading the weight on the bar and pause to look around to see if anyone is looking at me. After, I will place myself under the bar, continue to poke my ass out to pretend I'm finding a comfortable position. Then film a couple of reps with bad form, and then rest against the bar, poking my ass out, pretending the camera isn't on. Next, I'll film some jump squats for you to see how much my ass jiggles, and then we come to the end of the video where I will have the camera on my ass to show off the pump. I'll then do a peace sign and walk off. See you next time.
Stop flexing your muscles, Jordan. You look like a fucking imbecile.
That's not me.
The day of my life. There were so many weird things about this day, about this workout, anyways, that were just off-putting to me. Like, I knew it was the last day immediately. But let's just watch how this young lady sets her water bottle down right in my personal space, looks at me, and then she's like, yeah, I'm just going to get in your personal space even more. From this angle, you can't really see.
How big
but
is
whenever
your
I say
personal
she just-
space? Like, you've set up, like, standing right in front of this machine. And home girl wants to use the machine. What do you expect to have happen? Oh yeah, move stuff.
That heifer needs a cubicle. That's what that is.
She needs to go home. Is what she needs to. She needs to go home.
Get her one of them bathroom cubicles to work out in.
Let's see. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna let this play.
Right here, like so close. Like if I would have swung that weight back, babe, it would have hit. And then it would have been my fault.
If you're going to have this level of entitlement, you might as well just stay your ass at home and do some P90X or some Taibo. Gym etiquette is rare nowadays. Well, except for this guy.
Hey, bro. How many texts do you have left? One more? Can I join you?
Yeah.
What's your phone number? What's your phone number? I said, how many texts do you have left?
I have one more set.
I'll work it. I join you. On your text. Sorry. How many texts do you have left? Two more? Can I join you? What's your phone number? Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
He faced several feminists and left them speechless.
The girls will get $5,500 each. The blokes will get $69,000 each. How can anyone justify this item?
You can't.
No.
I mean, the gender, I beg your pardon.
I can justify it.
How?
Why?
Why?
Well, that's weird. There we go. All right. I think everything's functioning again. I broke it all.
I'll tell you what, a sport doesn't become interesting because the stars are paid more money. Stars get paid more money because the sport is interesting. Let me ask you this. How many of you guys on the panel know who our Australian Matildas are playing in the quarterfinals? No, because you don't care about it. All of you go and watch W League games in the women's competition here, but you don't. Now, when you start to go and watch these women play the wonderful football they do, then they'll earn more money. The Men's World Cup is one of the biggest money spinners on the planet. Women's football, its level, it's working really, really well. It's got a long way to go. The other thing, let me ask you this about sports equality. The top 10 fastest men of all time in terms of sprinters are all black. Are you telling me that the white guys should say, hold on, we should be paid just as much as the black guys for sprinting? No, because they're not as fast.
I wake up and I wonder this every single day. How do people just don't get this? This is the perfect example of emotions versus logic. To be honest, the only women's sport that I will only watch is none. But I will make women's volleyball an exception. And 100% of the time, I'm not watching it for the volleyball. I'm watching it for the culture. If you know, you know.
Left, right, let me see you do it. Left.
The world record for a man is 9 minutes faster than the world record for a woman. You're telling me that in 55 years of women running a marathon, we've caught up within 9 minutes of a man?
People just really say fucking anything on podcasts these days. You realize 9 minutes is like 2 fucking miles? She says 9 minutes like the guy's fucking 50 yards ahead of her. Anyone who's ever run a day in their life knows shaving 30 seconds off of your time is fucking impossible. Regulate podcast equipment 2026. Right. I'm gonna run on it.
This one.
9 minutes is a freaking eternity. That's like me saying
that's fucking wild.
I'm only 5 seconds behind Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world. Wait till she learns about 100-meter races. They're only
Right,
milliseconds
so
apart.
This is exactly why we do this type of stuff live, because that's not going to work. I'll be right back. Wow.
Hey, everybody. This is my new avatar. Friend of mine. This is a baby Bigfoot, in case y'all didn't know. His name is Bocephus. Good friend of mine, Robin Swan. She's a YouTuber. She made this for me. It's a crocheted Bigfoot. Ain't that sweet?
Okay, see, that's how that's supposed to look. You see why I freaked out the way I did? It was like...
That did look a little better.
Let's see. That's not right. I thought it was that one. It's not that one. It's this one. Right. Exactly. And you're over there. And so I would need to put... Okay, let's see.
No, 9 minutes is a town ahead. Getting beat by 9 minutes running is the equivalent of getting lapped 4 times in a car race.
You're talking shit about our women's basketball team because you don't know how to play basketball.
Oh, this is going to end badly. How do you reckon this is going to go, bro?
Yeah. I actually got into women's basketball here recently with Caitlin Clark and Sophie. Now that they're like on their exit, I'm like out of it.
All right, but are you watching for the fundamentals? Like,
I was actually watching because it was enjoyable seeing
Okay.
someone coming up and they'd mistreat her and she'd just shoot their damn eyes out, outplay them.
there you go. Let's see. I need my camera. Where's my camera at?
I blame the WNBA for that situation, though, the officials.
My camera's there for some reason. Oh, I see. I got you. That needs to be moved down. Oh.
It's okay, anything you do.
See, I figured this out a while back, but you couldn't do the custom layout for the StreamYard. Oh, there we go. Right there, I said. Right here, I said. There we go. That's me. We're going to move that up just a hair so that I'm completely hidden by that damn comment. Perfect. Right.
That's your argument?
And why are you talking shit about women with people with disabilities? Because most people with disabilities have sports with issues. So why are you talking shit about that? So what's your
Okay, so
problem?
what's your main grievance? Is it about women's sports and basketball or disabilities?
Both.
Okay, well, for the basketball thing,
Wait,
women...
let me finish talking.
Oh,
So
no.
what about you? What about you? What's your disability? Do you have any disabilities?
I have a high tolerance for stupid people talking to me. I'd say
Yeah, that's
a
not no
disability.
disability, sir, because you're racist. Thank you very much.
We're racist.
That was a good
huh?
one.
Is Eric Hartman coming out?
Look
Ask
at
a
her.
bunch of questions and walk away. Makes sense.
Look
I mean,
at this.
Is it just me or was I the only one hearing Cartman in her?
Let's listen.
Disability, sir, because you're racist. Thank you very much.
That was a good one.
I'll buy
That was
that.
a good
A little
one.
bit of carpet. Screw you
Ask
guys.
a bunch
I'm
of
going
questions and
her.
walk away. Makes sense. Perfect.
This is something straight out of a scene from a South Park episode. But this is how you he held back
Right?
so hard because of his condition. And trust me, he had plenty of ammunition.
This is a friendly reminder. I haven't been back in a minute. When you are done with the week.
So I can highlight. Oh, there we go. That covers me and you both up. That's cool.
You are using, you are legally contracted to erect when you are done.
Oh, no.
Please erect all your weights when you are done using them. Thank you.
This man is the hero we didn't know we had. but the hero we all needed. This audio recording deserves a Grammy nominee. This audio recording should be played.
It's wrong to see if anyone corrects me.
How to engage your back more with it. Perfect.
Follow me to see part 4.
Pretending not to know.
Most people don't even know this muscle exists. That's why.
Sir, just stop it. You get some help. You need to lay off a little bit. I mean, what is that? A double D? That man's not supposed to have a double D.
I don't have it. Mike Metzer trained it. So do I. This isn't gear. It's hydration, intensity, and old school focus. You want muscle that moves when it's touched? You've got to train it. Train it like it matters. Heavy weight. Reps to failure.
This dude is built like a deep breath. He's got that Elon Musk build. His body is shaped like a freaking Cybertruck.
It looked like a teardrop.
This creep come over to my personal bubble while doing RDLS.
Why do I feel like she's going to be wearing a Therian mask?
The gym was practically empty, and so many corners to be in, and he chose this one. I've been in this corner for 10 minutes before him and only had one set left. So I started recording him, so now we're all uncomfortable together. He was literally staring at my Pikachu before this.
My Pikachu? What? Are you wearing Pikachu? Oh, come on. He's set up in prime real estate, honey. Are you seriously trying to trespass his eyes? You had one set left. You finished your set. Now what?
A TikTok influencer named Adriana claims to have captured footage of a gym employee, quote, being a pervert and gawking at her while she takes her shirt off. What? And you may ask, well, what the hell are you doing taking your shirt off in the middle of the gym? Anyway, here's the video.
Stand up for myself, he threatens to call the police and revoke my membership.
He worked there.
You need something? You need something? Do you need something? Do you need something? Okay, I thought so. Keep it pushing.
What's up, Brandon? Welcome in, bud.
No man at the gym, been to many gyms in my life, men are not looking for any kind of drama at all. They're just there. No man wants to leave the gym with that kind of story. Guess what happened at the gym? That's something that some women look for. Right? And so we just need to be in separate gyms.
This is getting so out of hand to the point where a man has to stare at the freaking ceiling after his set. You want absolutely blasphemy.
Too much sausage. Honey. What are you, a Smurf? Put some weight on that bar, girl. Like, what's wrong with you? Are you here to work out or work in? Honey.
May I help you? Like, do we got a problem? You looking at me?
All right. So for just a second, I want you to take into account what that bar is capable of. If she turns around and go all wushu monk on this motherfucker, everybody's gonna hurt.
So if you're like me, you watch this video wondering, is there more? Did he say something to you? Did he do something inappropriate? Because walking past somebody to go to the station you're working out at and briefly glancing at them for less than a second does not make somebody a creep. Then you chop the video up to seconds, minutes later, whatever it is, he finishes up, walks by, his buddy follows, and he doesn't fully look at you until you turn to him to be confrontational, which you caused. I'm sorry, but this man did nothing wrong. For you to put yourself on this pedestal of being a victim, all at his expense, just so you can get some likes, some attention on social media, and to think There are women out there. They get harassed in gyms. There are creeps. How do you think those women would feel watching this video? You know, I went to your page and I thought there has to be more to this story. I went to the video and surprise, surprise, the comments were turned off. I wonder why. Maybe because everybody else was saying the exact same thing, but you didn't care. You actually pinned this video to the top of your page just for
What
views
up,
and likes.
JP? Welcome in, bro.
You know,
I'm
this man
practicing
is a
on
part of your
some
community. His face is in this
OBS
video.
YouTuber
He has a
type
reputation.
stuff.
He has a family. Do you know what this can do to somebody to label them as a creep? You need to do better. Mind your own business.
It seems like Gen Z cannot go to the gym without filming or taking a damn
Hey, everybody double tap that
At this
screen.
point,
Let's get a like
gym
button
needs to
thing
start
happening
banning
over here.
filming in their premises immediately. And gentlemen, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
How many shots?
I don't know, 20 shot, 30 shot, probably.
Than Japanese carriers received in 3 months. The fresh food included lettuce, tomatoes, and fruit. Real fruit. We were fighting for the
All right. That transferred real quick. It was supposed to be
June
like
20th, 19.
There we go. All right. Now this will require an adjustment of, let's see, it's wider and taller. We can shrunk it up a little bit. About all it. Do. That.
1944, USS Enterprise,
It looks a little
Philippine
wonky.
Sea.
Oh, that's not
Lieutenant
terrible.
Junior Grade Saburo Kitamura of the Imperial Japanese Navy stood in the enlisted mess hall, his hands
Can I get a
shaking
thumbs
as he
up or
held a
thumbs
tray
down in
loaded
chat
with
as
more
to whether or
food
not that's
than
an
his entire
acceptable amount of
squadron had
interference?
shared in 3 days. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes swimming in butter, green beans, white bread, apple pie, and a glass of cold milk. The American sailor behind the serving line, irritated by the delay, gestured impatiently at the ice cream station. You want chocolate or vanilla? The question made no sense. Ice cream didn't exist on warships. Ice cream required refrigeration that combat vessels couldn't spare.
I'm supposed to do this before the whole thing starts, but when the Japanese surrendered, there were literally hundreds, if not thousands, of ships out at sea, most of which didn't immediately cotton to the idea that the Japanese were serious, right? They figured there was some kind of chicanery going on. And what was actually going on was a combination of literal hand-carried letters signed by Tojo to individual captains and admirals to verify that the surrender was legit and had taken place, right? And until some of these admirals and people got these letters, they didn't believe it. But when they did, the honorable thing was to abide by the surrender, right? So this guy was involved in the Marianas turkey shoot out there when we splashed a whole bunch of different planes in the Pacific and then pulled the pilots out and put them in our little POW system to be questioned by, Japanese linguistic experts to find out what they know. But then immediately after the surrender, all of that changed. They're not even POWs anymore. They're guests of the United States. And so they're not put in prisoner. They're not put in a brig. They're not put in chains. They're not locked up. Instead, they're given a basic post on the ship for the most part. And some of them even would work and whatnot. They would do, bake it. They were sailors too, They knew what had to happen, and they'd go do the things that needed to happen. But this particular diary entry, I think there's 3 of them. The first one's the one I'm going to go over because it's absolutely amazing. Homeboy gets pulled out of the water tossed to a bunch of people in white suits that patched him up, and he knew it was a time of war and that resources were thin, and he told them, he kept repeating this phrase over and over again, and finally one of the doctors or nurses or whoever, corpsman, whatever, went and got a dude that spoke Japanese and come back, and what he was saying was, no, save it for your Americans. Your Americans will need it. If you're going to take Japan, you need every single stitch you can get. And he would not accept treatment until they walked him in and showed him the resources they had at hand, like in the freezers, in the medical lockers, the fact that this ship was absolutely packed to the gills with everything an invasive force could possibly need. And it's okay, we can bandage you up and it'll be fine, right? But he didn't believe it. And so what eventually changed his mind was when they offered him ice cream. He realized that not only did these people have ice cream, they had the ability to choose between chocolate or vanilla on a warship actively at war, right? And so some of these people are kept from, whenever they were taken prisoner until this surrender of the Japanese. A lot of these people never actually made it into the POW system because these ships were at war so very often. They were at a state of readiness that basically they remained locked in their quarters and was brought food and all that stuff. But this whole story here just really blows my mind, like what it would have been like to be living on like a quarter ration of rice and be picked up by an enemy, which throws you into a palatial suite with unlimited fresh water, ice cream on demand, and 3 meals a day. An air conditioner in your room, radios available. You get mail. He had the opportunity to mail some shit to Japan because he could do that, And that's wild if you think about it.
June 20th, 1944,
I mean, do you have an opinion on that?
No, that's pretty well. I'm eating supper right now.
Yeah, you go ahead, man.
USS Enterprise, Philippine Sea. Lieutenant Junior Grade Saburo Kitamura of the Imperial Japanese Navy stood in the enlisted mess hall, his hands shaking as he held a tray loaded with more food than his entire squadron had shared in 3 days. Fried chicken, mashed potatoes swimming in butter, green beans, white bread, apple pie, and a glass of cold milk. The American sailor behind the serving line, irritated by the delay, gestured impatiently at the ice cream station. You want chocolate
Welcome
or
in,
vanilla?
Artie. Good to see you, bud.
The question made no sense. Ice cream didn't exist on warships. Ice cream required refrigeration that combat vessels couldn't spare. Yet here, on America's most battle-hardened carrier, enemy prisoners were being offered a choice of frozen desserts. Kitamura had been pulled from the Philippine Sea 4 hours earlier. One of 43 Japanese airmen recovered during the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot. He expected execution, or at best, starvation and torture. Japanese propaganda had been explicit.
What up, Tampa?
Americans were barbarians who ate their prisoners, devils who delighted in suffering.
Welcome in, bud.
Instead, medical corpsmen had treated his wounds, given him morphine for pain, and now offered him ice cream flavors. The chocolate or vanilla question would haunt him for decades, the moment his understanding of the war, of America, of everything began to crumble. Across the Pacific War, approximately 35,000 Japanese military personnel would experience American naval captivity and witness abundance that shattered everything they believed about their enemy's weakness. They discovered carriers where enlisted sailors ate better than Japanese admirals.
I mean, just think about it. There you are, covered in burns, covered in oil. You get a hot shower. When you get out of the shower, you've got clean towels. You get a uniform. It might not fit very well, but it's there, it's dry, and it's clean. They take you shoes. You get shoes. As I understand it, and this is something that's not in this video, but I've read a whole bunch of the translations of well, maybe a dozen translations of Japanese diaries from the Pacific, and some of them are really weird. Some of them are fairly pragmatic, right? And this one dude was talking about how they had 17 pairs of shoes for 36 people, and so they set up a system of whoever was up on deck was wearing shoes, and anyone else had rags wrapped around their feet that looked like shoes, because they didn't want any spies to notice that they were short on shoes in the first place because of the war effort and everything. And so it was like a big deal to be caught on deck without shoes on. And so they basically used bits of wood and freaking cloth staples and made almost exact copies of their uniform shoes to wear on deck, but they were just wooden. It was wild.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
Well, from what I could grasp from the diary, it was less worried about being reprimanded by command, because command knew they didn't have any shoes, so there wasn't really much they could do about it. It was more they didn't want the spies. They didn't want any observation that might come through to notice that, well, half the freaking ship doesn't have shoes. They must be pretty low on ammo too, right?
Yeah, I can see it that way, but
I mean, that was
the Japanese are a lot more about saving face than most any other ethnicity that I know of.
Oh yeah. No, you got to get into like Congo of Africa or tribal South America before you get to some folks that some of the Polynesian locations are really big on the whole pride and face thing.
Yeah, that's the reason they had the kamikazes, because it was more honorable to die even as a failure than it would be to surrender.
Right. So, and I get that to an extent, but at the same time, sheesh, man.
Yeah, I mean, they had a whole mentality to where it's like, you know, you didn't surrender to Japanese, they would not like that shit at all.
Yeah, I've read a few of those diaries too, dude, and they're rough. I can't remember the name of the movie. I think it was an Australian pilot was put in one of the POW camps. I think it was in like Bhutan, maybe. And anyway, there's a movie about it, and in the movie, all this wild and crazy shit happens. But in the book, like the shit that he specifically says happened, they had to tone that trash down a little bit, because according to this dude, at one point in time, an unexploded bomb of some sort was discovered, and they came and got POWs to come and pull the bomb out of the mud and drag it back to somewhere near the river to use as a IED, right? And everybody was all worried that it was going to explode. It was going to explode and everything. And when they got it to where they were wanting to rig it to blow up, when the enemy, which I don't even know who they were fighting at the time, this was one of those Polynesian, like Southwest Asian wars, where I don't even know that the Australian was actually involved in the war itself. Anyway, it turned out it wasn't like a 500-pounder like they thought. It was actually a bomb-shaped casing, largely full of either fuel oil or napalm. And I'm not sure homie knew what napalm was at the time. So it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't recognize it if he came across it. But I'm not exactly sure how napalm was dispersed, but I don't think it was in quote unquote 500-pound bomb casings. Right?
I'm not sure either how it's dispersed. I know it's like one hell of a. I've seen the pictures of the explosions of it, and it's like the whole
amazing
1,000 yards just lights up. It's like 80 feet in the sky.
And it's burnt to a cinder in 14 minutes, but burns for an hour anyway. That's so fucked up. Like, but yeah, he said it looked like a 500-pound bomb. He'd seen 500-pound bombs before, but when they took off the detonator thing at the end of it, fuel oil came out of it. It was just an empty casing or something like that. And that's none of that's in the movie. None of that's associated with the story. And not a lot of people believe it. But at the same time, why would he lie about it? It's just a weird detail in the story that has no bearing on the movie in any direction. So why not include it? Just struck me as odd. That's all.
Where machinery produced fresh water from seawater in unlimited quantities. Where ice cream machines operated continuously despite combat operations. These encounters with American naval logistics would demolish the spiritual foundations of Japanese military ideology more thoroughly than any defeat in battle. The mathematics of maritime abundance were calculated in calories and capabilities. While Japanese sailors subsisted on rice balls and pickled vegetables, American crews consumed 4,100 calories daily of varied, fresh foods. While Japanese carriers hand-pumped aviation fuel, American ships automated everything. While the Imperial Navy prayed to gods for divine winds, the U.S. Navy manufactured its own weather with refrigeration, air conditioning, and ice cream at sea. The transformation began the moment Japanese survivors were pulled aboard American vessels. Commander Mitsuo Fuchida, mastermind of Pearl Harbor who later became a Christian minister in America, documented his 1945 rescue experience aboard the USS Missouri. They hauled me up like a caught fish, and I prepared for death. Instead, a medical officer examined my injuries while a sailor brought coffee, real coffee, hot, with sugar and cream. I hadn't tasted coffee since 1942. The sailor apologized that they were out of donuts. This casual mention of depleted donut supplies while Japanese forces were eating leather belts revealed the gulf between propaganda and reality. The Imperial Japanese Navy's own reports, captured after the war, showed that by 1944, enlisted sailors received approximately 1,400 calories daily when supplies were available. Protein came primarily from fish when boats could spare fuel for fishing. Vitamin deficiency was endemic. Beriberi, scurvy, and night blindness plagued crews. American naval rations, by contrast, included fresh meat daily, frozen vegetables, fresh baked bread, dairy products, eggs for breakfast, and multiple beverage options. The Office of Naval Records shows that carrier mess halls in 1944 served approximately 15,000 meals daily on large carriers, with menus rotating.
Right? 15,000 meals a day.
Yeah, it's like 3,000 of them on there.
Mm-hmm. That's wild.
I can see the dismay in someone having been forced into a war and then seeing all this, I guess you'd call it opulence. You know, they bring the kitchen sink with them when they go hunting.
Okay, I can get down on the idea that an ice cream maker operating while under fire, right? They're out there dodging freaking torpedoes and shit, but the ice cream has to be ready. If we get a break in the battle, everybody's going to want some ice cream, right?
Yeah, but you know the whole concept is like it's the stark difference between the two societal norms, to where it's like we want as much comfort with us to carry our morale higher. They have a more military suck it up mentality. It's like, you do this because I said do this. We ain't got this. You don't need that. Don't talk about that type of mentality. Is like, you know, they were locked. That was explains a little bit about how more brutal they actually were.
But they were brutal because they were losing. They had, in order to fight as long as they did, it took that level of brutality. The propaganda was fearsome. You know what they told people? The Japanese military told the Japanese people that when Marines take prisoners, they only take them for food. That there are no Japanese survivors under any circumstances, and that we don't keep POWs, which I can kind of see where they got that idea, because we really didn't keep POWs on shore anywhere. We typically put them on a ship and send them back somewhere else, right? And so from the Japanese perspective, there were no survivors ever. None of them were ever. Two things. One, no Japanese survivor that I'm aware of broke out of whatever American POW camp they were in and went back to Japan to tell them about the heinous atrocities that was being perpetrated by the Americans. That didn't happen.
Yeah, well, you could actually see the reasoning behind it now, looking back at this in 2020, the fact that they were probably treated better by their captors than they were by their actual commanders.
Right. But remember what you said about face and honorable action, right?
Yeah, because the whole idea of being relieved to be captured would be a face crusher. You know, it's like, oh, I can't look at my commanders having had ice cream this morning.
To realize that all of the propaganda that was laid out in front of you about these heinous, horrible men who are coming in their horrible machines to ruin everything that the Japanese Navy has been setting up for the past 20 years is wrong. They are here to destroy the industrial machine that was the Japanese war base, but not the people. And that's a little different. That's something. That war was different. In almost every other war in history, the people were actually the target of the change and not a byproduct of it.
Yeah.
I mean, even World War I was that way. In World War II, to my knowledge, I mean, all right, so there might have been a couple of East Asian actions that were similar before World War I, but I don't have one that jumps straight to mind, you know. So I'm gonna say there were none, right?
Not in our history books, certainly not.
Not that I've read of, and I've read a lot.
Through dozens of options. Tuesday might feature roast beef, Thursday fried chicken, Sunday ham with pineapple. Japanese prisoners, accustomed to unchanging rice rations, couldn't comprehend this variety at sea. The shock deepened when Japanese prisoners discovered enlisted men's quarters. Petty Officer Kazuo Sakamaki, captured from a midget submarine at Pearl Harbor, and America's first Japanese POW, later wrote about his amazement at American submarine facilities. The enemy submarines had showers with hot water. The crews slept in mattresses and clean.
Right?
I'm laughing at the midget submarine, man. I can't help it. I just picture the damn submarine coming up and a bunch of midgets coming out.
I ever told you my plan to take over the world?
Oh my God, I'm terrible. No, you haven't.
Thump and Weevil, if you want to join the panel, the link is on a community post on my page over there. If you can figure that crap out. Apparently links don't work in vertical. So we're adapting and overcoming. Coming over something or some shit. I don't know. So here's my plan. I say we get 1 million Uzis, 1 million golf carts. Or we won't need the full 1 million, but we can get us 1 million midgets and arm them with Uzis and full body Kevlar for half the price it takes to arm a normal military.
Yeah, we had to go low caliber on the Uzis.
Well, you just go 9mm, man. That's fine.
I go 22.
Oh, dude, how about one of the old buzz saws that the fucking police came up with? You ever see them?
Probably not.
Okay, so 22 is a rimfire cartridge.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I've never actually seen one in person, right? But they made this cog and disc assembly with a drum fed ammo that would pinch the edge of the cartridge. And so the distance between the bullets coming out was about the same as the distance between the shell and the bullet, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking about lasers? They call it one. I heard similar to that where they had a barrel feed and it would fire so fast that the bullets would be hitting each other in the ass. You could literally cut down a wall with it. That's why they called it the laser. You could just cut through like ordinary building material like sheetrock and 2x4s. It's like a chainsaw.
Yeah, it was fearsome, but it was 22 caliber, and you carry like 1,000 rounds in the belt or in the drum. And I don't know how many of them they made. They didn't make a whole bunch of them. It was the idea behind it was they were like 22 caliber shorts, and it was a shit ton of ammo, right? And so it was supposed to be for like crowd control.
I could see that.
You could cut down a freaking elephant with those things because it's so many bullets so fast. And it was like full blowback reload, the whole nine, the simplest possible construction you could imagine. Zip. You got 1,000 rounds down range. You could put together 10 cops, line them up on an alley, and cut down a building.
Yeah, I think they had like a 2-inch thick barrel to keep it from melting.
Yeah, it'd overheat real stupid fast.
The shock deepened when Japanese prisoners discovered enlisted men's quarters. Petty Officer Kazuo Sakamaki, captured from a midget submarine at Pearl Harbor, and America's first Japanese POW, later wrote about his amazement at American submarine facilities. The enemy submarines had showers with hot water. The crews slept in bunks with mattresses and clean sheets. They had a library of books and magazines. The mess hall had a coffee urn that never emptied. They lived better underwater than we lived on land. The presence of ice cream machines on American warships delivered particularly devastating psychological impact. The Japanese Navy considered ice cream impossible at sea, a luxury requiring resources no combat vessel could spare. Yet by 1943, the U.S. Navy operated floating ice cream factories. The USS Lexington's ice cream plant could produce 500 gallons daily. Concrete barges were converted to ice cream vessels, producing 5,000 gallons per shift. When the USS Lexington, CV-16, was torpedoed and listing, sailors evacuating to other ships reportedly rescued ice cream stocks before abandoning ship. Japanese prisoners...
That'd be me though, cuz I'd be all up in the ice cream, like, fuck it, we're gonna drown, I'm gonna eat ice cream on the way out.
Absolutely. Literally the reason why they did that was because oh, that's not working. Go over and click to the side, damn it. The amount of energy it takes to make ice cream. You see the edges are wrong. Edges are wrong. Why is it always wrong? I mean, that's electricity, that's coal burn, that's fuel oil, that's diesel, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's a legitimate wartime concern. And yet the Americans showed up with so much swag. What's up, El Perro? Welcome in, brother. That it was really, really hard for the Japanese to look at that and not be impressed, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, I can see the whole mentality about telling their soldiers that, you know, they eat the people they capture and shit. Cause, you know, they had all reinforcing that whole death before dishonor shit. You know,
absolutely. And I mean, it's a culture. I don't know how much it pays off, but I get it.
Obviously living more normal as opposed to wartime tactics or rations or whatever. It paid off.
Ultimately, I suppose. That down here. like that. Yeah.
Cognitive dissonance was overwhelming. Their nation, fighting for its existence, couldn't provide basic nutrition to forces. The enemy, supposedly decadent and weak, gave ice cream to sailors during combat. Chief Petty Officer Yoshio Yamada, captured when his destroyer sank at Leyte Gulf, spent 3 days aboard USS Iowa before transfer to shore facilities. His smuggled diary, discovered decades later, recorded, "The battleship's crew eats in shifts, but the food never stops. They have machines that peel potatoes, slice bread, make ice. The kitchen runs."
All right. So 1,500, well, yeah. 3,000 men, or 5,000 men, 3 meals a day, 5,000 men. 5,000 men, 3 meals a day. You're doing what, 3 shifts of meals or 5?
Probably 5.
So you're hot cotton the whole time, everything.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have to have 3 shifts, but there would probably be overlap in the side of those shifts too.
Right. So there'd be, 3 to 6 actual meal times, and the meals would be staggered.
Yeah, you'd like I said, you'd have constantly people who would be on shift, like an overlap.
Yeah.
There would never be stations unmanned type situation. But yeah, there's a lot of damn people.
Yeah, that just blows my mind, bro.
Well, I mean, you can see how the part that really puzzles me is like the Japanese were coming from a mentality that they were being squeezed or something. They had to fight for their survival. I mean, how the hell y'all started it? How's that fighting for your survival? You poked the bear.
"It woke a sleeping giant" was the quote.
Yeah, I imagine it was that they probably had intel on the congressional reluctance to join the war up until Pearl Harbor, and then once Pearl Harbor kicked off, they took that as a weakness. That look, we're doing this. They're not doing nothing because they're afraid, and they couldn't have been further from the truth.
No, they took our immobility as a weakness. That is absolutely the case. I don't think anyone would second guess that one. Let that play for a second.
24 hours. They threw away more food after one meal than my entire ship
What's up,
received
JC
in weekly
News
supplies.
now? Welcome in, El Perro. Good
When
to see
I
you.
asked why they waste, the guard laughed and said, "It's not waste if you have unlimited supplies." The laundry facilities stunned Japanese prisoners accustomed to washing clothes in seawater. American carriers had industrial washing machines, dryers, and pressing equipment. Enlisted sailors received clean uniforms twice weekly. Fresh water, precious beyond measure on Japanese ships where men went weeks without bathing, flowed freely for showers, laundry, and cleaning. The evaporators on USS Enterprise could produce 140,000 gallons of fresh water daily, more than the entire Japanese carrier force could produce combined. Recreation facilities on American carriers seemed impossible fiction to Japanese military minds. Ships had movie theaters showing Hollywood films, libraries with thousands of books, gymnasiums with basketball courts, hobby shops for woodworking and crafts. The USS Enterprise's newspaper, published daily at sea, included sports scores, comic strips, and news from home.
Lets me do this.
Japanese carriers had meditation spaces and shrine rooms. American carriers had soda fountains serving milkshakes. Lieutenant Commander Takeshi Maeda, captured after his Zero was shot down over Iwo Jima, spent 2 weeks aboard USS Bunker Hill. He later testified to American interrogators, "Your enlisted sailors live better than our officers. They have radios in their quarters, photographs of girlfriends, packages from home with chocolate and cigarettes. They complain about food that would be a feast for Japanese admirals." One sailor threw away a candy bar because it had melted slightly. That candy bar represented more sugar than Japanese pilots saw in months. The medical facilities exposed the result. Japanese naval medicine.
You're echoing.
Yeah, I just plugged up. It probably fried my shit. I'm about to drop down. See if I can renegotiate, get back up here. Unless I can reset. And I don't know. I'm going to punch a couple buttons.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Try to refresh.
Returning wounded to duty regardless of condition. American sick bays treated enemies with the same advanced care as their own sailors. Operating theaters on carriers had X-ray machines, blood banks, surgical equipment matching shore hospitals. Antibiotics, particularly penicillin, seemed like magic to Japanese medical personnel who watched infected wounds heal in days instead of killing in weeks. Pharmacist mate second class Robert Wagner, serving aboard USS Intrepid, later recalled treating Japanese prisoners. They couldn't believe we'd waste medicine on enemies. One pilot with a badly infected leg wound kept trying to refuse treatment, saying, "Save it for Americans." I had to show him our medical stores, lockers full of sulfa, penicillin, morphine, to convince him we had plenty. He started.
Which penicillin might have been one of those things that the Japanese had never seen.
Yeah, I can actually understand his tribulation, but I can also appreciate his mentality of no, keep it for American soldiers. You know, I'm done. I can. That's pretty amazing in itself.
Well, it's the only honorable thing to do. What's up, Fletch? Welcome in, bro.
That is one thing that, you know, generally about them, even despite their viciousness, you can appreciate their honor, because that's what their viciousness was based on, their honor. Everything is based on their honor. I mean, because rather than face dishonor, they would do Harry Carey. Man, you are a guru with this tech shit. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, I'm talking to myself. My bad.
Crying. The repair facilities demonstrated American industrial supremacy at sea. Japanese ships limped back to homeland ports for any significant repair. American vessels fixed themselves while underway. Floating dry docks, repair ships, and carrier machine shops could manufacture replacement parts, rebuild engines, and fabricate entirely new equipment. USS Enterprise's machine shop could produce any part smaller than an airplane engine. The welding shop operated continuously. The electrical shop rewired systems while the...
Also, all right, if I can figure out how to fit this in here so that it doesn't get in the way of everything I'm doing, that allows me to do other stuff that I haven't been able to do in a while. Like, oh no, I screwed everything up because I got excited.
Yeah, you took blow in there. That's what screws it up.
Yeah. I gotta get everything recentered for this shit to work. That's probably my second favorite clip of him. The best way. I got lions, I got Marines. Some of this type stuff. Yeah, like that. So all this cool stuff would be up here at the top, you know, like. Right?
You should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless. virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. It's like, no, wrong. You should be a monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
A few moments later.
What are the humans doing? Yeah. I think it might work. You reckon?
Yeah, you had a little bit of sideways action going on there.
What are the humans doing? Yeah, I just got to tinker with it a little bit, get it all straightened back out. That's the very first thing I ever found for this channel. Essentially the birth of the Caucasian Sasquatch.
The ship fought. When kamikaze attacks intensified in 1945, Japanese pilots who survived crashes witnessed American damage control superiority firsthand. Ensign Ryuji Nagatsuka, rescued after his damaged Zero ditched near USS Randolph, watched the carrier's crew repair kamikaze damage while conducting flight operations. They had foam that stopped fires instantly, pumps that removed water faster than it entered, metal plates that sealed holes while we watched. Teams worked with choreographed precision. No shouting, no confusion. They fixed in hours what would have sunk Japanese carriers. The food production systems on American carriers defied Japanese comprehension. Bakeries produced 15,000 loaves of bread daily. Butcher shops processed whole beef carcasses stored in freezers larger than Japanese submarines.
that had to be a soul-crushing realization that these gentlemen were pulling sides of beef out of a freezer bigger than the sub you manned.
Yeah, I can see that unnerving as hell. You'd be pissed at higher up, so.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Remember, what's up, Andrew? Welcome in, bro. Sorry I missed you. I've been tinkering over here. First of all, they didn't eat you, right? Second of all, they've given you clean sheets, medical treatment, ice cream, and food. And I mean, how do you break out to go tell them that, hey, they're not so bad? Do you reckon they're going to listen?
No, they'll say you're brainwashed.
Right, you're an enemy of the state. They'll put you up against the wall and pull the trigger right out the box, bro.
Oh yeah.
Ice machines produce tons of ice daily for food preservation and drinks. The galley on USS Enterprise used more electricity than entire Japanese destroyers. Steam kettles could cook 300 gallons of soup simultaneously. Electric mixers, automatic dishwashers, and mechanical potato peelers handled tasks requiring dozens of Japanese sailors. Supply ships revealed the final dimension of American abundance. Japanese naval units waited months for resupply, often receiving a fraction of requirements.
I bet you they'd be surprised by our damn prison systems, how posh and luxurious it actually is compared to what they do. I've seen Japanese prisons where it's like, you know, once the sun comes up, your ass is on a mat, kneeling in your cell. You don't lay down or sit down, none of that shit. And if you don't obey the rules, they'll come in and cane the shit out of your ass.
Right?
That's brutal.
That one. That's the one I want to share. Keep losing my freaking place.
American fast carrier groups received supplies weekly at sea. Fleet oilers transferred millions of gallons of fuel.
Okay, I think that's
Ammunition
done.
ships delivered tons of ordnance. Store ships brought fresh food, mail, replacement personnel, and luxury items. Lieutenant Minoru Tanaka watched underway replenishment from USS Hornet's brig. 3 ships came alongside simultaneously, fuel lines to port, ammunition, high lines to starboard, helicopters delivering mail overhead. They transferred more supplies in 3 hours than Japanese carriers received in 3 months. The fresh food included lettuce, tomatoes, and fruit. Real fruit. We were fighting for the emperor with empty stomachs, while Americans ate salads at sea. The mail system particularly amazed Japanese prisoners,
that's really
who
gotta
might
mess with your
receive
head,
one
right?
letter yearly, if fortunate. American sailors received mail weekly, even in combat zones. V-mail, photographically reduced letters, arrived by thousands. Packages from home contained cookies, candy, books, records, and photographs. The mail call, impossible for Japanese forces operating beyond homeland waters, maintained American morale through connection to home. Christmas 1944 provided the most profound psychological impact.
Yeah, that'll work.
Japanese prisoners aboard American
It's not
vessels
perfect.
witnessed holiday celebrations that exceeded pre-war Japanese New Year feasts.
Might give
Menus
me a-
from USS Enterprise, December 25th, 1944, documented roast turkey with stuffing, ham with pineapple glaze, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, cranberry sauce, 3 vegetables, fresh rolls, 3 pie varieties, ice cream, candy, nuts, and coffee. Seaman First Class Hiroshi Nakamura, imprisoned aboard USS Saratoga, wrote in a hidden diary, "The Americans celebrated their Christmas while we attacked them. Every sailor received presents from organizations at home. Cigarettes, candy, books, razors. The mess hall was decorated with paper and lights. They sang songs and played music. They were happy. We were starving and dying for the emperor while our enemies celebrated with abundance. This was when I knew Japan had already lost." The revelation went beyond food to fundamental worldview. The Yamato spirit, Japan's belief that spiritual strength could overcome material disadvantage, crumbled against American industrial reality. Ensign Takeo Yamamoto, captured at Okinawa, later wrote, "We were taught Americans were soft, that their abundance made them weak. But I watched them fight fires for 12 hours, then eat ice cream and return to battle. The abundance didn't weaken them. It sustained them."
I can see it.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, even your enemy recognizes a hero when he sees one.
Oh, yeah.
We were the weak ones, pretending spirit could replace food. By war's end, Japanese prisoners had witnessed impossibilities. Carriers producing fresh water from seawater.
That's a good point, Andrew. Consider this. Most of these soldiers, most of these sailors in the Japanese fleets had no idea that Nagasaki or Hiroshima had happened. The command didn't tell them. They wouldn't.
Yeah, I've actually seen it, the whole top secret stuff over that they've released since then. And it's like, on my assessment is we didn't have to do that to them. The Nagasaki and Hiroshima shit. It was just.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like that Yamamoto shit he was talking about. Is that what he said? Yamamoto. That philosophy is virtually impossible to break. If we had tried to take mainland China, I mean mainland Japan, that would have turned into an insurgent war for the rest of fucking eternity.
What I'm saying is, it's like when we offered them terms, and they only came back with the emperor wouldn't surrender, and then they even went back on that and said, yeah, they was like, this was pre the bombs hitting. They was like informed, look, we're fitting to do some shit to y'all.
Well, there was a radio broadcast done by Truman where he said that this was, if I remember right, it was within like an hour of the first bomb dropping and a couple of days before the second. And cat named Mr. Bigglesworth. Anyway, he had a quote, and I can't remember exactly what the quote was, but it was very similar to the fire and brimstone quote from Trump. It was, "We'll rain down a destruction that's never been seen on this earth before," knowing that he was lying, that it had been seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's historical evidence. They've had atomic blasts in the past, several places on the globe. Or
I mean, it was the first time. The point is that if I remember right, the speech was given a couple of hours after the Hiroshima drop, but a day before the Nagasaki drop, and that was the window that was given for them to surrender unconditionally. You will throw yourself on the mercy of the U.S. military.
Yeah, I'm not sure the actual timelines, whether it was like in between the two bomb drops, but I know they was like given warning. It didn't have to be as bad as it was, and they refused to surrender the emperor, and that's what ultimately got
Hell,
or something.
there was an 11th hour coup that took place. There was a group of mid-level bureaucrats who decided that they were going to take over the Japanese military, and arguably they were in a position to do so because of the massive amount of chaos that was going on at the time. They came up with an idea, and this is immediately after Tojo had written out a formal surrender, right? And the Japanese palace over there is built to be confusing, and they went in trying to find these written surrender papers. And as I understand it, they encountered some light resistance, but for the most part, everyone they ran across just ran away from them. And they went and searched and searched and searched and searched, and then eventually were captured because they never could find the right room with the papers in it, because all the fucking rooms looked exactly alike, and that's why they looked exactly alike, was to fool people trying to find people. And it works for papers too.
Yeah, that's kind of like stepping in your own trap there.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you gotta love it.
Ice cream tropics, movies at sea, laundries in combat zones, hospitals afloat, machine shops in battle. They had tasted foods most Japanese never knew existed: hamburgers, hot dogs, milkshakes, apple pie, chocolate cake. They had experienced democracy's abundance, enlisted men eating officers' food, all races serving together, enemies receiving medical care. The return of Japanese prisoners after surrender spread these revelations throughout Japan.
And that may well have been the very first word that came to Japan about how they handled prisoners, right?
Yeah, I mean, the whole, like I said, their whole civilization versus ours was completely different. Like ours had a control system that was outside of the president. The president wanted in the war earlier. That's the reason the whole, I call it the red flag, Pearl Harbor shit went down, was so that Congress could be provoked into signing the declaration of war. Because otherwise there was going to be no U.S. involvement. But the whole morale shit, that has always been important when it comes to war. The Japanese, I think they left and they didn't pack their lunch pretty much.
Yeah, well, all right. So there's a couple of features from the Japanese side on this. I can't remember the dude's name. Anyway, he plotted this grand scheme on how to take the Pacific, right? And he decided it would require like 19 battleships, 7 aircraft carriers, 50,000 fucking submarines or some shit like that, because the Pacific's huge, right? There's millions of islands out there. And if you're going to subjugate all of them, you don't have to take them all. You have to take the resupply and resource points. So you're talking about taking a base on Sulawesi, taking a base on Midway, taking a base on, you know what I'm saying? You've got to hopscotch your way across and take the significant islands, not the big islands necessarily. They typically are, but not always. Where they got completely off the fucking mark is 2 points. One, they misunderstood exactly how much whoop ass was hanging out in America's heartland. Right?
Yeah, I mean, a large part of our economy is based upon the continuation of the war machine. I mean, even in peacetime, it's that.
Sure. And on the other hand, they also underestimated the importance of airstrips. So there were several islands in the Pacific that had perfectly functional airstrips that they didn't bother taking. They just like blew them up and made them unfit for use, and then fucked off somewhere, right? And that was kind of the weak point, was that we were able to field small crafts of small groups and get a couple of those old airstrips up and running, and suddenly we had B-52s in the fucking fight. Like there ain't shit you could do about that, bro. Like suddenly there were Lancasters and but them P-40 fucking little bash P-38s. Those things are nasty, dude. And they can carry so much more shit than your average Japanese Zero. You know? Because Japan had an entire different philosophy on supplying troops and didn't really understand. What's up, Harry Nuts? Welcome in, bro. Take me with you. I'll go see Guam. I got nothing against Guam. We got an American province over there somewhere. I'm so fucking down. Get in. I'll drive. Got a boat? Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think they had the resources to win the war ever.
Okay, so that's what I was getting at. The plan was to take these resupply locations, utilize the resources at the resupply points, which would impoverish and starve out the other islands so that they wouldn't even have to fight and take them. One component that they misjudged was how much guerrilla insurgency would take place in these occupied locations. And another aspect of that was how much resources would be sabotaged by the people that were losing that territory, right? Because they weren't taking it from American held hands. They were taking it from random nations here, there, and everywhere. I mean, half them fucking places were what, English and Spanish?
Yeah, there was like Taiwan, Singapore.
Yeah.
But I think they got Hong Kong too.
Well, but my point is that they were going to hopscotch their way across and resupply after like the territory was taken, using the resources from those territories, and French and Dutch. That's right. And they sort of misunderstood how much local resistance they would come up with and how often that local resistance would be a problem, in conjunction with not realizing, I mean, I guess they never read the Constitution would be my guess, because at that point, Hawaii wasn't a state yet, was it?
Not sure about the annexation of Hawaii. I think that might have been.
It had been annexed, but it wasn't. It wasn't full statehood. I think it was a territory or province or some shit.
Yeah, I think it was in the 40s sometime. I'm just not sure if it was like after 47 or prior, maybe 41. It was in the 40s, so I'm pretty sure though.
I'll look it up in a little bit. But if you do the same thing, if you were to fly into Puerto Rico and start bombing shit, you're going to end up with exactly the same fucking response, right? The full weight of the military landing on your fucking nose, and there's nothing you can do about it. God forbid you have some oil.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my first question when people ask if we're at war in a country. Do they have any oil? Yeah, probably. Probably got boots on the ground over yonder. 1959, Hawaii became a state, right? So we dropped the hammer on Japan for fucking with a province. Don't touch our boats.
Yeah, the military moved in first. I remember that part. They came in during the war and had to build the seaports and all that shit. They had done a lot to infrastructure, but it still hadn't been made a state. I just wasn't sure when.
Right.
But now, no.
So they touched our boats. That was the error. And they did. Man, that was almost an absolute. It was a devastating shot. I mean, as far as a first salvo in a war, you couldn't hardly ask for anything better.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was the way I look at it is like, you know, you had two people squaring off, and you had the American. They put a chip on their shoulder, which was Honolulu, where that took place. That I think is damn, what was the name of the damn? Never mind. Anyway, the chip was the whole Pacific Fleet sitting there waiting. That you knock that chip off my shoulder, we're gonna fight. That's what the shit I look at it that went down.
So you're saying that what Truman honeypotted
Yeah,
Japanese in trucking?
yeah.
It's a full on false flag. Well, I don't know if that'd be a false flag. I mean, if you set a trap, right, you've got to bait it.
Well, I mean, I don't view it in a necessary negative incarnation, only in the fact that the people who they put there was not aware that's why they were put there. They were put there to be a target. That's the most grievous I have against it. Is like those people that they put on those ships and put in that harbor, Pearl Harbor. That's what I was trying to think of. They had no idea what they were being set up for.
Thank you, Harry. I really appreciate that. It was making my brain itch. Yeah, no, if they'd have caught the carriers, and I think that's an important point. The carriers weren't in there. They weren't there. They were out and away. I think that's actually evidence for the idea that they were honeypotted. I mean, think about it.
Oh, I mean, it was a suicidal attack regardless. I mean, they was like too far away for their planes to get back to their carriers.
Sure,
that was,
but it was in the spirit of Shinto and
yeah, that was the worst decision they could have made. And in my opinion, is executing that maneuver. Now, if they'd have had their carriers within range, that shit would have been a completely different battle.
Well, the reason they launched early was because earlier that day, someone had reported a Japanese Zero, and everybody laughed at it. Was like, that's funny. They ain't got a fucking hope in hell of getting a Japanese Zero over here. But anyway, because of procedure, they sent it up the chain of command, and a couple of planes were deployed out in that direction. And when they got within range of being identified, they had no choice but to launch. So they did. You know?
Yeah, it was perfect timing in some aspects, no doubt about it. But it still, it was,
welcome in, brother.
I mean, it was still murderous on their command to issue that command. Like, y'all not gonna be able to make it back, but y'all going anyway.
I can make an argument that the methodology of training was significantly different as well. The Japanese were trained to do a specific job and cross-trained in one other job typically. And those two jobs might be septic engineer and fucking potato pillar, right? Whereas the Americans were quote unquote crafted out to several functions on a ship. You might come in being a stevedore, but by the time you leave this ship, you'll be able to do half the jobs under you and most of the jobs over you. And if you happen to land in a position where you're really, really good at what you're doing, you might end up stuck in that position until we find somebody better. Right? Whereas in the Japanese Navy, when you're assigned a berth, that's your berth and that's your job. And there's not a whole lot of sideways, upward, downward movement, and also and by dint of that, there's not a whole lot of cross training. And I think that's mainly seen when repairs are being made under battle conditions. The runner, the page that's manually running messages back and forth to disconnected bridge and stations, that guy knows how to run a rivet gun.
Yeah. Right. This was all pre-NASCAR. If they'd ever got a load of NASCAR and see how that shit operates, they'd have known better.
Monster trucks. That's always been my argument. The next time we go to war with somebody, before we actually drop a bomb, we should just drop a footage of a monster truck rally out to all the fucking villages, hinterlands, right? Just one good redneck monster truck rally crushing a bunch of classic cars. I think it'd be fucking awesome. Also, that's the most redneck thing I could think of.
Yeah, redneck. People talk shit, but rednecks are what saved this country as long as it has. And here's my argument. I seen a Instagram posting where a guy was giving some of his old stories from Cold War time, and he was stationed somewhere, he couldn't say where, and he was meeting with the opposite, the Russians, and he had regular interaction with this general. It was a Russian general during Cold times. He was retired, and he threw that question at him. He's like, why did World War III never really break out during the Cold War? It's like, and the Russian came back and said, we was never scared of your army. We always had that we could figure out, we could defeat that, your Navy, all that stuff. But the problem was we could never figure out when and where to invade because of so many armed citizens. They could never cut that out of the scenario and come up with a win.
That makes so much sense. I mean, I wouldn't invade the U.S. I mean, you've got to pick somewhere to come ashore. New York? Hell, the gangs fucking take care of you. Philadelphia? The mafia. Fucking, oh, you're gonna come in through freaking North Carolina? Good luck. The French tried that once. You want to try Florida? Georgia? Alabama? Okay, so we're gonna skip it all and go to Mississippi. Think you're gonna make it up through those Creole swamps, bro? Please. We got a redneck Air Force now. You're fucked. You got no hope, bro.
The redneck Navy.
Cajun Navy and the redneck Air Force, son.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir. And they about ain't nowhere the Cajun Navy can't go. Sea rations were introduced to the troops in 1938. Fun fact. Yeah, you feel free to continue doing that all you want, baby. I fucking love it.
Former POWs became unwitting ambassadors of American abundance. Their testimonies more powerful than any occupation propaganda. They told of ships where sailors complained about food that Japanese would consider feasts, where ice cream was routine, where enlisted men lived better than Japanese nobility. Commander Mitsuo Fuchida, the Pearl Harbor architect who experienced American abundance, converted to Christianity and became a missionary. His transformation from
I can see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring a little bit of the fire and brimstone down upon this parish. We're going to bring a little bit of the judgment of the Almighty. We're going to save a soul. We're going to save a savage soul from the savage hinterlands of Japan. This man has seen our ice cream. He has seen our greatest abundance, and he is most impressed by our women.
He certainly had a come to Jesus moment. Let's put it that way.
He came to something, didn't he? Jesus is just as good as the rest.
Architect of surprise attack to preacher of reconciliation was rooted in that first cup of coffee aboard USS Missouri.
Oh, that'll do it.
The Americans had every reason.
Man, that first cup of coffee in the morning.
Dude, that's a fucking religious experience. When you hadn't had none for a while and you hadn't, for whatever reason, you just haven't been able to get a hold of a cup of coffee, and then you get that cup that you've been wanting. And it's so
yeah,
hot.
I mean, if I was been captured by the enemy, and that's the first thing they did when I got on the ship, hand me a cup of coffee. It's first thing in the morning, maybe. I'd be like, all right, where do I sign up? Where do I sign up? Y'all got coffee. Where do I sign
Japanese
up?
interpreters, get me some English speakers over here so I can learn English ASAP. Chop, chop. I don't need that foot. I need another cup of coffee.
The virgin by coffee. I could definitely get behind that.
Right? I mean, that could convert a man. It really could. And
they gave me medical care, food, and dignity. This abundance of spirit was more powerful than any weapon. Statistical summary from U.S. Naval Records. Daily caloric intake. U.S. Navy, 4,100 calories. IJN, 1,400 calories. Freshwater production. Large U.S. carriers, 140,000 gallons daily. Ice cream production. USS Lexington, 500 gallons daily. Bread production. USS Enterprise, 15,000 loaves daily.
Hold on, man.
140,000 gallons of water a day.
Hold on. No, fuck that. That's small.
140,000 gallons daily. Ice cream production. USS Lexington, 500 gallons daily. Bread.
Somebody stat, find out how many men were on the USS Lexington. Because 500 gallons?
Daily. Ice cream production, USS Lexington, 500 gallons daily.
500. All right, bro. So ice cream's made from cream fat milk. You got to ship that shit refrigerated or irradiated or pasteurized, and it has to be currently pasteurized, not like it's got to be passively pasteurized. I can think of a couple of ways to move milk that far without it going bad, but refrigeration would be the firstest, mostest legitimate way. And that's fucking what, 375 gallons, 400 gallons of fat milk to make 500 gallons of ice cream?
A lot.
You're talking about what, probably 4 stations, 5 stations on the ship, churning day in, day out. And if you're gonna do it like that, you might as well, if you're just gonna be rolling like that, bro, you might as well set it up like some of the ice cream makers at these fast food places.
I don't know. I'm pitching like a 50-gallon vat that they were working with.
Yeah, you're probably right at first. I don't know, man. How do you keep that much ice cream? Wow, like holy shit, dude! Really, a 50-gallon chum thumper?
Yeah, I mean they've blown my mind away a little bit with this because I didn't picture them making it. Like,
okay, so
them like taking shipments of like gallons and gallons, but to be making ice cream.
So Tampa says, Lord help us, Tampa. Welcome in, girl. Says 3,000 souls on Lexington.
Yeah, I hadn't got there yet, but I found it. It's there, correct?
So 3,500 gallons for 3,000 men, and chances are the ice cream machine was always broken, right?
Yeah, we ain't working on McDonald's here.
Oh, yeah. Right. USA. So even if it was broken, they had some guys in the back turning it by hand if necessary.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet you they had hand turning capabilities too.
Yeah, I bet you. That's wild, though.
Because morale is like everything to the Navy, especially the Navy, but all the armed forces, morale is uber important. But the Navy, being out there on a ship.
Yeah, just looking at the gray walls all the time, talking to the same 72 people that's on your shift.
Yeah, you got morale.
24. Dude, fuck that. Fuck that.
Bread production, USS Enterprise, 15,000 loaves daily, mail delivery. Weekly, even in combat zones. Movie screenings, 2 to 3 different films.
There's a consideration, and we've talked about it a little bit, but we haven't really touched on it real hard. Mail delivery in combat. So you're standing there flinging flack at 50,000 feet, and somebody walks up to you, taps you on the shoulder, stuffs a fucking mail in your pocket, says mail call, walks away. Yeah. Thanks, sir. Right?
Yeah,
I can see it. I mean, that does not strike me as even very. I mean, I imagine it was done in calmer moments if possible, but that does not surprise me in the least. Actually, if you've read anything about the battered bastards of Bastion, that's pretty much how it went. Mail showed up, mail got delivered, bro. They brought it to you right then, not later.
If it didn't, it was hell to be raised too, man. So I mean,
yeah,
the American people.
Think about the USO. Think about the thousands of troops that were positioned, and just I don't know. We at the time, U.S. was a fairly rural freaking place. There was a whole bunch of illiterate people across the landscape out there, and all of them had sons and daughters that were a part of the war effort. Maybe there wasn't letters coming from home for some people, and the USO would make care packages for anybody on the survivors list that hadn't got a package.
There was officers There was also designed with their duties were to make sure that people had that type of uh, conveyance of some kind, that they were not left completely, like somebody else got packages and I didn't get one. That they had people making sure that shit didn't happen.
Right. And that's another a major flex that the U.S. does without any consideration. You know,
Yeah,
with
that's a
no
good.
thought of what the effect that knowing that this is a thing. I mean, just the fact that you're sitting in your cubby hole, you're doing your warfare thing, whatever it is, and somebody walks up to you, and in the later segments of the war, even the POWs had a little bit of male access because our male access was so extreme that it wasn't that there wasn't any communication back and forth between Japan and the US. It was just there were no terribly official communications. But for the most part, the males still ran. I mean, there's a couple of spots where it did stop for a while.
Yeah, I've studied a lot on it because I still haven't never like scratched the reason Japan did that shit. What the hell do they think?
I think, and this the Pearl Harbor thing has always bothered me because had they not done that thing that they did, touched our boats, had they just quietly took secondary islands all across the Pacific, there may have been no movement. We might have done nothing but watched it happen because it's not directly affecting Americans or American interests for the most part. And plus, we weren't exactly on war footing with Japan. It just we weren't exactly friendly either. They recognized us as a world power and wanted to compete on at least the same stage as us. And
Yeah,
he
bit off.
was correct in one thing. If as long as we held Pearl Harbor, the Japanese war effort is doomed. Had they taken Pearl Harbor that day, right? If Hawaii fell and it was like a conquered land, and the Japanese had managed to make landfall and actually take the big island, that would have been the World War II would have played out totally fucking differently.
Yeah,
There would have been
they would have nuked Hawaii.
You might not be wrong. That would be on the table at that point. Although there's a good chance that Hawaii would involve a shit ton of POWs, and a lot of these would be POWs that there would be no use in moving from the island. They'd be used as forced labor like they were everywhere else, I imagine. So maybe nuke them. I don't know. Hawaii's small enough, and we had just developed a handful of like really handy chemicals that hadn't previously been known. Like, it's possible. Like, might not have taken a nuke. I don't know, but like, okay, let's do the alternative history. No nuke, right?
No
Honolulu
nuke.
falls, Pearl Harbor falls, but is also largely useless to the Japanese because of the ships that were in Pearl Harbor. We've still got, what was it, two aircraft carriers plowed out there in the Pacific with I think they both had partially full quads, so we're not completely helpless in the Pacific, but probably you're going to pull your fleets back to San Francisco or rather, disperse them between Honolulu and San Francisco over there so that any injured or whatever can be picked up. And then you regroup, reload, and try to figure out how to take Honolulu. That becomes the hard point of Japanese resistance in the Pacific rather than an island hopping campaign across Grenada and 30,000 other fucking islands, Iwo Jima, all of that. So you end up with a much more protracted campaign where taking Honolulu is your first stop And after that,
once you know that Honolulu's there, man, and you got the range of those battleship guns, if you ain't got the Air Force to hold it, it ain't, you know, Honolulu is not a threat. It would be costly to get it back, but you could just pound that sumbitch into a dust pile with battleship.
yeah. Well, I mean, they did that with Iwo Jima. I mean, it wasn't exactly a picnic out there, but
No.
they did pound that motherfucker 2 feet shorter.
It would be like fighting in our backyard right there.
Yeah. And that ultimately is what it comes down to. So conventional ordnance, we're looking at, I don't know, 6 weeks to take the islands. And you have to take them. You can't just leave them, right? Because if you try to take anywhere else in the Pacific, Honolulu's in your back door. It's good. That once they get that port cleared, they'll be able to deep water harbor that fucker, and it'll be like a sore tooth that you can't pull from now to the end of fucking time. Like they'll dig into that bitch like it's their homeland.
Yeah. War's a bit.
So, holding Honolulu at all fucking whatever price it takes. But like I said, with a deep water harbor available, right, 21 ships were damaged or sunk at Pearl Harbor. There was a bunch that were damaged that were repaired and went and fucking kicked some Japanese ass afterwards too. There were a few that weren't. I think Arizona is still at the bottom of that bitch. I think the Indianapolis was staged next to it for a while because there's such similar ships. Anyway, I digress.
Damn, Harry Nuts is just whipping out the knowledge.
Yeah, no, I love it. He's handy with the fucking. He's great to talk to too. He's hilariously dry. Like his humor is a little dry, and it's a little more dry than most people with dry humor. So it takes a little getting used to, but it's fucking hilarious.
Twice weekly clean uniforms, medical supplies, full surgical capacity at sea. The Japanese prisoners who experienced American carrier abundance returned to a destroyed nation with a revolutionary message. The enemy's strength came not from cruelty, but kindness, not from deprivation.
Oh, I love
abundance.
it, Harry. I
Not
absolutely
from
love
spirit, but logistics.
You know,
They're
I met an NC Tyrant Hunter a few days ago.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah, and I don't know, dude. We only had a few hours, and we got together. We took a couple of pictures and just sat around and bullshitted for the rest of the time. We didn't film shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like
that's YouTubers for you, man. Especially live streamers. Live streamers like to do their live streams when they want to do their live streams, right? And so you get a couple of people together who typically live stream later, and they don't want to do it right now. We end up sitting around just bullshitting with each other for fucking 6 hours. Took a couple of shots with them. People drink him about 6 beers, like the man lives off of them. I couldn't do it. I couldn't burp enough to do that. I only got a few minutes left. Yes.
Yeah, I like old Jeff. He's stomping around in what I call my neck of the woods, being into.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going. They're doing a super secret squirrel cross country hop. Last time I saw them, they were back in North Carolina, but I don't know where they're going after that. That was just coming back through to do a live stream with us. Anyway,
testimonies helped and transformation.
He gave me I got some stuff I'm supposed to give away. Just don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I got a couple of ideas. I was thinking about combining it with like Age Out Show maybe, and setting up something like a duck race. I mean, it doesn't have to be ducks, but some way of determining a winner that's not controlled by either her or me. You know,
the future, and it tasted like chocolate ice cream served at sea during battle. The transformation of Japanese military personnel through exposure to American naval abundance, represents one of history's most complete ideological reversals. Warriors who expected to die for the emperor instead lived to tell of American ice cream machines. Pilots who attempted suicide attacks were saved to witness democracy's casual plenty. Sailors trained for spiritual warfare discovered that material abundance sustained rather than corrupted fighting spirit. In the end, the ice cream machines on American carriers achieved what bombs could not: complete destruction of Japanese militarist mythology. The soft serve machines that operated while ships burned, the fresh bread baked during battles, the medical care given to enemies. These revelations transformed Japanese understanding of American power and their own defeat. They returned to Japan not—
So, if they've got 1,500 loaves of bread, they're making beer, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure they had some alcohol rations on board.
Yeah, sure. But what do you do with bread once the bread's not good for bread? I mean, there's croutons. There's all sorts of secondary uses for dry bread. You know what the most common use, historically speaking, for over dry bread? Beer.
Yeah, you can make Jack with it.
And from what I understand, it's not bad.
It's actually not. I made some Jack while I was locked up, and I swear to you, man, what I made was just hand squeezed sour mash with fruit cocktail, and it tasted just like damn Jim Beam to me. Yeah, it'd been some years since I'd had some, but that's the taste and flavor I got from it was like Jim Beam, and it was just sour mash, which I'm pretty sure that's what Jim Beam is.
One night, after one of these here shows, we'll discuss making moonshine. We'll get down to the nitty gritty to it, bro.
I wish I knew as much as my dad.
But as witnesses to abundance,
bootleggers, rum runners, and bootleggers of family history, bro.
Yeah, he had just turned 18, 1968. Had a brand new off the damn showroom floor, damn 68 Roadrunner. And he was into drag racing too. So it's got the whole shit to it. He used to drag race, run bootleg, shine. There's a difference between bootlegging and shining.
Do you reckon the next video is gonna fit, or am I gonna have to adjust it?
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to adjust it, bro.
Let's see.
So what can I help you with?
You can. So this is from Joe Cool. If we could get 3 white women on panel, he would join in an instant. It's like a spell or a summoning. That being said, Joe Cool, well, he's out there in Chicago being Joe Cool. Be nice. Just like Joe Cool says, be nice. If you just be nice, you don't have to worry about the rest of the BS. Have you met Joe Cool? I'm sure you have.
Damn laugh sounds like you're trying to start a 68 Buick.
Yeah, no, when you get him tickled, you get a good laugh out of him, it's even better. I mean, I've been told I have a unique laugh, but I used his for a notification sound for a while. A couple of different laughs I'd clipped from him out of videos. I did it mainly for the looks people would give me. Everybody look at me and I just giggle.
If you're known for your laugh, you know you're going the right path.
I guess so, man. I don't know. It's one of those things, man. People are like, oh, dude, I love to hear you laugh. And I'm like, great, because I like doing it. We're both going to get along famously. Congratulations, you're part of the club.
Tell me what's going on out here.
And they found a stop. I've got one that can see.
Got one that can see.
Legend right here. We got a legend.
Prior restraint.
Rules and regulations of the Chicago Police Department. Rule number 1. you may not violate any law or ordinance. When I was making this vid, I asked my man why he thought that was so important that they put it first. His answer, Joe, if you write it down, the people will believe it. Hit that like, subscribe, and we meet in the comment section after the videos drop.
Instead of doing what's right, morally right, you over here guys extorting people, right? I guess it's for that, right? For the light? Extortionists, liars, thieves. How y'all doing?
None of your business.
None of my business, public servant, the one who took a note. You don't talk to the people like that, homie. None of your business, right? None of your business.
Here we go.
Yeah? Dogs?
Oh, no.
Don't do it. Dogs.
Where's this at?
So we got tires again. Look at
I
it. Look at it.
believe homie's in Chicago at this point.
Wow.
Although you can just superimpose this over any major metropolis in the U.S. Really.
Yeah, but Chicago is a whole nother can of worms.
It
man.
is.
I had to give up my props to being a damn cop watcher in Chicago, bro.
Balls. That's one of the reasons I respect Joe Cool. Is there's I don't know how much people know, how much y'all know about Joe Cool, but he got some history back there. What make him not exactly the most logical person to be out there fucking with the cops, right?
Yeah, I can pick up what you're putting down because I think I probably have similar.
Can you show me some gang signs, Tampa? Just a little flash, let me know it's a people back there, not a bot or some dude helicopter in his wanger. That's good enough. Good enough. What's up?
Did you summon a white woman up here for bait to bait Joe Cool in?
Well, if we can get 3 white women on panel, Joe Cool will appear.
Okay.
You have to get 3 white women. You have to get 3 white women on panel, and then you have to say Joe Cool, Joe Cool, Joe Cool, and he will simply.
Can you split her avatar up like 3 times? Would that work?
No, somehow he knows.
Can we use my personalities?
Somehow he knows. I don't know how, but he does. All right, you up to date on what we're doing? Checking out Joe Cool's video?
Yes.
All right. Let me know when to stop. I'll stop it.
Okay.
Look at him. Look at him. You seen that, right? Everybody, you seen that? Right there.
Think they busting the U-turn to fuck with JB.
We are 40 away. Where's 63rd? Look at him. Another one. Look at.
All right, so this U-turn, and I know you can't see it on the freaking camera. Well, maybe. Oh yeah, you can see it. Homie pops a U-turn at a intersection, right? He's not just breaking the U-turn laws. He's doing all sorts of unnecessary bullshit. That if you did that, you'd be caught with like reckless driving. You definitely get some DUI
violation while moving, all kinds of shit. Yeah,
reckless endangerment, like all kinds of stupid shit. The cop just whipped that motherfucker around like it okay.
Yeah, I ain't never liked that shit. The way they drive too, over speeding when they don't need to be speeding and shit. No light.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So if I remember right, Georgia has a weird thing. It's one of the few states that the cops aren't supposed to turn on their lights until like they're actually in the chase, right? So a certain amount of speeding and a certain amount of like basic law breaking is apparently tolerable in Georgia without lights on. But I think there's a liability factor built into that. I don't think accidents are covered by the typical insurance if the lights weren't activated. And all that shit's computer controlled. So if it's not activated, they know.
When I lived in Hawaii.
Wait, what were you doing in Hawaii?
I went over there and lived with my dad for a little while when I was in high school.
Oh, so you have family in Hawaii?
Yes, my dad lived
Married?
there. I'm sorry?
Are you married?
No.
Oh, good. So about Hawaii.
But the police over there had to keep their lights, like they kept their lights on, so like even at nighttime you could see their little blue lights, so you always knew where they were.
Yeah, that works two ways. Right?
Yeah, they recently put in blue lights in the cars that are like a static light, like what you're talking about. It's just small, not flashing. It's just blue all the time.
These little
Yeah,
bastards over here, we got ghost cars straight up, bro. We got vehicles you could look at, and the only reason you know it's a cop is because the tint's too dark. No one can drive around with tint that dark.
Shit, man, I've seen Mustangs, cop cars around here, Porsches. I even think I've seen a Lambo. They
I mean,
do
if you
not.
got it like that, I suppose.
I mean, well, you got like all of those dealerships are here in town. Lambo dealer, Porsche
yeah.
dealer.
Plus, if they repossess anything, I think they can take it over. They can buy it at the auction.
Yeah, it's all dirty money at that point.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're the legal criminals.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna go grab a drink. Y'all listen to this for a minute.
Okay.
No light.
What the hell? We busting at you.
Again.
Yeah. They just want to follow us to the car.
I know.
They lit somebody up. JP.
What up, Paranormal Papa? Welcome in.
Hey, you missed it too, bro. Come on.
I don't think you can break the law and enforce the law at the same time. I mean, you can. Police do it all the time. It breaks the public trust, and the people would no longer cooperate with you.
All right, now I'm assuming these the same cops who hit us with the flashlight like some children a minute ago.
Look what we have again. The extortion is again extorting people's money. Keeping an eye on you guys, bunch of thieves.
Hey, why would you shine a flashlight at us? I'm sorry?
So, we're here. Yeah, 47th and Pulaski. The same extortionist over here. Now, I got rules and regulations of the police department in the city of Chicago. Since they don't care about rules and regulations, I'm going to read a little bit of something to them. Right? Hey, check it out. So everybody can see the
I like this guy. He's silly.
You got that, man. City of Chicago rules and regulations. Police department.
According, hold on a second so people can see. This is the law enforcement code of ethics is adopted as a general standard of conduct for all sworn members of the department. It states, right? Can you hear me? I know you can hear me, right? As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve mankind, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception. You guys are liars. You guys don't protect the innocent against deception. You are the deception. You guys are the snakes.
The police break laws because they are better than you are. They are more important than you are. Even an off-duty police could spit in your face and you'd catch charges. And if you film it, you were baiting them. Dude, if you take the bait car, you still a thief.
I love that line. That line is phenomenal. He's right.
That is brutally right.
It is right. If you take the bait car, you're a thief. So if you take the bait from anything else, that names you for what you are, does it not?
Yeah.
I mean, take the Japanese, for example. If you're going to grab the honeypot, is it not war? It was war before then. You just hadn't declared war. It was a cold economic thing happening that had not turned aggressive, or at least very aggressive yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Japanese intelligence is where they, not as like their personal intelligence, but as far as like their military intelligence and spy knowledge, was damn way too below par.
Well, I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true. I've no clue as to the veracity, but I read somewhere that some of the Japanese higher ups didn't believe the maps and the reports. Right? They pictured west coast of California over there from the British Columbia all the way down to the Gulf of Baja as being sort of this side of an island. Right? And all you have to do is take half an island and you can take the other half. But I don't think they understood what the Rocky Mountains exactly are. Right? Like, and the fact that on the other side, 4,000 miles away, is another set of mountains called the Appalachians, and they no clue how many rednecks was just itching for a fight for some reason.
Right, and didn't the guy say in the video that we were watching on that they thought the American soldiers were soft?
Yeah, they're
not soft. They're just lazy. But if it comes down to it, yeah, we're not soft.
I think Joe made a very good point with that. If you take the bait cart, you're still a thief, regardless of whether you're a cop or not, or what else there is there.
Yeah,
you're a thief.
That is spot on.
Is that a chick or a
Give this man
dude?
a ticket when you guys just blew a bunch of traffic laws, huh? Ordinances.
Yeah, I did run a red light and do about
Don't do that.
do about 4 U-turns.
What up,
Do
Jeff,
that.
man? Welcome
You
in.
want to play those games?
What you doing? It was a day that ended in Y. That is true, Fletch. That is true. Welcome in. Here I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that a chick. I'd go ahead and throw the whole chicken on that one.
It's a full meal, bro. 2 wings and a breast.
Look at him shining a light in my man's camera. That's called prior restraint, officer. That's against the law.
Prior restraint is against the law, homie.
All right, be nice. JP, be nice.
Be nice. Be nice. Put it down. Put it down.
So I had a buddy of mine.
Yeah, be nice, officer.
He was one of those meth head type fellers what collected the flashlights. And we were out at his dad's property, which was a different property from where the guy lived, and there's nowhere to be on this property. There's no buildings or anything like that. It's just a fucking pasture. It's part of someone else's pasture, as a matter of fact, but he owns the fucking land. And so we went out there going, it was just checking it the fuck out. We're sitting there, and cop pulls up and asks what he's doing there. and the cop shines a light straight in my buddy's face, and my buddy pulled out one of those goddamn Star Lancers and flicked that summage on, and homeboy completely lost that fight. It x-rayed the back of his skull from this side. It was absolutely beautiful. That dude just said, "Oh God, no." And Russell was like, "Well, I thought you wanted to play who had the better flashlight." And he just went back to his truck and left. He just left him alone. But then again, he also knew who he was, right? Like, realized that it was Russell, and he owns part of this joint. So yeah, what's up, David? Welcome in. If y'all go to my channel and look on my community post, the panel link is there, and we can get into whatever shenanigans y'all want to get into. I really don't care. I'm just killing time is killing me. Thinking about drinking myself blind.
Yeah.
Bunch of cowards.
I'm not sure why you would create enemies anyway by shining a light in people's face. You wouldn't like it done to you.
Love your neighbor as yourself, man. Treat others like you want to be treated. Is this how you want to be treated? You'll get treated in this manner. Cowards, oath breakers, liars, deceivers. You're giving a man a ticket when you guys broke a whole bunch of traffic rules and regulations. Instead of locking up politicians and other crooked ass cops, you guys don't want to do that.
Hold up. There he is. Look at Joe Cool over here. What's that? 6'6"? 6'7"? A big boy.
You guys broke a whole bunch of traffic rules and regulations. Instead of locking up politicians and other crooked ass cops, you guys don't want to do that, right?
You guys literally just ran a red light. You gotta feel bad giving these guys a ticket.
Bunch of hypocrites. It's hypocritical what you are doing. Yeah. Keep laughing. Think it's a joke, right?
If you go to my channel, click little face wherever I think it's over there somewhere, right? You go to my community tab, there should be a StreamYard link. It should be the last thing that came up. Lisa Goku. I think you came up right before I ended one night, if I remember right. I was pretty fucking shit-faced. I think y'all went over to Dusty's right after, so I don't know if you'd remember it. I think he was here like 10 seconds before I was like, I gotta go buy her. I've drank far too much. Only like $200 that night. It was worth it.
Dusty.
Yeah.
Is it not? So here's the thing.
Are you,
Do what?
were you talking to me?
I'm sure. I like talking to ladies. Hi.
Oh, no. When you said that somebody was there for 10 seconds before you had to leave.
Yeah, it was David. He's in
Oh,
chat.
okay.
Okay.
I ain't guys ain't above the law. The heck you guys gonna be pulling people over while you guys are breaking laws? Busting you is burning red lights.
They're gonna lecture this young man and take his money for doing the same shit that they just did.
So yes, my fellow neighbors, this is what you get over here. Thuggish cops, public servants that think they're above the law. I'm reading the rules and regulations to them. They don't care about rules and regulations. Oh yeah, I swore before God and man to protect rights, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna act like a little thug, right? Ain't nobody scary y'all people, man. What you guys are doing is wicked and evil. Wicked and evil and hypocritical. Consequences, y'all gonna get what's coming to y'all. You know that. God is gonna punish you guys. God is gonna punish you guys. All right? Understand that. Yeah, do it. Go on and do it.
Look, he gonna shine a light again.
Go on and do it.
Look at him.
Keep doing that stupid stuff and watch what's gonna happen.
I get home after a long night, park the car, get out. I'm not even recording, and this is what's going on behind my house. This lady cop walks up and asks, "How can I help you?" I hit record.
Yeah, man, I see you. You can calm down if you want to.
What
up, bro?
do, y'all?
It do.
Do it do.
What you got to say about it?
Shoot, man. The whole bad apple formula, I reckon.
Right?
I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
But yeah, I'll chime in. I like Joe Cool. Let's go.
I love Joe Cool. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he'll pick at you, dude. He'll get to the bottom of it. You ain't bullshitting him.
I tell you what I need to do. I need to go back and find the night that Joe Cool disassembled me. Right? He did that thing he does to people where he backed me into a place I had never considered before. And I realized that night that I had to think shit through real hard because I can't baffle everybody with bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to blind them with brilliance. And so
yeah,
I actually didn't stream for about 3 weeks after that because not because he didn't offend me. He put me in a position of offending myself. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it took me a little while to put together what had actually happened. And I realized that what had happened is I had an assertion that I made that was not really backed up by anything but my personal opinions. And after redressing that issue, I am still in exactly the same position I was, but now I can explain it better.
Smarter on it. Yeah, dude.
What I
Hey,
mean?
he's good at that, man. He's good at that. I think the only place he's countered any that I said was the being able to see better at night because I never take my sunglasses off. So we're kind of still, we'll go over that, I'm sure, one of these days. I just told him to try it out for a couple weeks and then come on back. So maybe Joe Cool can see at night when I talk to him again. But he hadn't really drilled me that hard yet. Pause.
Give him time. Give him time. Eventually, you'll say something. You'll say something that doesn't sound convincing to him, and he'll grab it like a dog with a bone, and the next thing you know, there it is. It's happening.
I anticipate it. I'm anticipating it.
Can't wait. I need to go clip mine up. That was a real good conversation. He didn't really move my opinion on the position. He just forced me to realize that I had not truly considered what I was saying, and that what I was saying was not what I meant. Right? So I had to clarify.
He strengthened your defense on your belief.
Absolutely.
Yeah, more meat and potatoes behind it. There's more meat and potatoes.
Right. I'm pretty sure that's all he is up here doing. I don't think he really argues with people about anything. He's just exposing the weak spots that we have in our arguments and helping us.
Absolutely.
That's what we need. We need that. It's essential. Joe Cool, you're fucking essential, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And say, what did you say?
So what can I help you with?
You can tell me what's going on out here.
It's none of your goddamn business.
I'm sorry, say again?
It's none of your business.
No, say it like you said the first time.
It's literally none of your business.
You said it's none of my goddamn
That's
business.
fine. And there's none
You
of your
sure of
business.
that? Because I could live right here.
That's fine.
You
It's not
sure
your
it's none of my goddamn business, officer? No, it's not okay.
Tow truck's going on, so I need you to move.
Yeah. I don't even see the truck. I know how to get out of the way of a tow truck. Y'all got the alley blocks, yeah?
That's the tow truck right there.
Hey, I see. Thanks.
Okay.
Smart ass. Give me your name and badge number,
Officer
man.
Martin, star number 14425. Come on.
425.
14425.
Right now, to run into
What's your name, officer? Lopez. My man say Lopez. My man says none of my goddamn business. Ain't it your job to correct his misbehavior when you see a Lopez? It's not none of my goddamn business.
I asked you if you needed help or what can we do for you?
Yes,
All right,
I
boys.
told you.
No, you did not.
What did I?
Smash or pass. Wait, you can't really see her. Damn it. Damn, hold on. I can fix
I
it.
was muted. Smash already. That's good enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can
That's
fix
all
it.
I'll be seeing anyway. So I mean, you ain't got to take much off it off. Let's go.
All right, I'll just let it roll. But you ain't missing much. The face ain't. I mean, she ain't bad looking, but
I say when you asked?
just the cake.
What did I say when you asked?
Check out the cake.
I said you
Ooh.
can tell me what's going on here.
She got
Yeah?
the cake, bro.
Are you just making shit up, Lopez?
Ponytail,
So what can I help you with?
handcuffs.
What's going on out here? No, I'm still talking to you. You know what I said. I asked you what's going on because your man got out and got smart. Like he's a god or something. And said it ain't none of my goddamn business what's going on.
God damn, I love Joe
just
Cool.
be rules, right? Ain't that against your rules and regulations? All that cursing shit. And I told her, yes, you can tell me what's going on. Your smart ass get out the car and said ain't none of your goddamn business.
We don't have to tell you what's going on.
You don't have to. You don't have to curse at me either. That's why people hate your fucking ass in that community.
That's fine.
Right? 2 seconds to be respectful and earn a
You're
friend.
still blocking the alley.
You think so? Give me a ticket if I'm blocking
I
alley.
need you to move so we can get this tow truck over
I
here.
told you I know how to fucking move.
And
You
that's
2
fine.
feet from me. You're gonna move when he come, right?
I am. I'm waiting to make sure you move out of the way.
I don't need your help, nigga. I'm older than you are. I survived this long without you.
God damn, Joe.
Pretending to be, man, other than some rude motherfucker in someplace he shouldn't be.
I got stopped by a lady cop in my automobile. She said, "Get out and spread your legs and let me try to cop a feel." Now, Joe Cool swears that you can hear this man talking on a phone, but I don't know. I don't know that I've ever watched this video from a phone. I mean, I can kind of hear him back there, but not over the music. All right, what do you know about cattle?
I know a little bit. Not a
This
whole
is
lot.
Dr. Polaris. Say hi, Dr. Polaris.
Hello, Dr. Polaris.
So, Dr. Polaris does deep dives in the different types of animal prehistory, history type stuff, paleontological whatnots, right? And not archaeology, but paleontology. So, because I'm a paleontologist, we're going to do that because I've got the assets. Oh, and it should be properly sized. I don't think it's ever actually been properly sized. Let's see.
You don't want cars? Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
Yep, they absolutely are. And in this case, we're going to take a look at the auroch. Do you know what an auroch is?
Auroch, no.
So before there were cows, there were aurochs. And some aurochs were huge, some aurochs were just big, right? But they were all larger than your modern domestic cows. At some point in time in the auroch's history, we came along and put a fence around them. And ever since then, they've been getting small. They got smaller and smaller to a more, I get what I would assume is a more manageable size. I'm assuming there's some integral size to a beef animal, you know, because otherwise we'd still have giant freaking aurochs, right? Because I mean, as I understand it, that's what we domesticated were aurochs, but the smaller ones, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, he's going to explain it all to us.
Good.
Right? And it was an attempt back in the 30s and 40s to try to reintroduce the auroch to European forests. And as I understand it, none of it really went real swift because all they really did was breed a cow that looked vaguely like an auroch. You know, there was no gene manipulation beyond selective breeding. But what they did, and it's fucking retarded, what they did is they basically looked for aggression traits and bred for that because according to the stories, the aurochs were like fearsome beasts, right?
Yeah.
So they bred for aggression and then tried to release them into the wild.
Yes.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
They're called het cattle, and supposedly there's a few dozen of them still running around the hinterlands of Europe. There were two primary schools of thought on it. There was one group, I believe they were in Austria or somewhere over in that vicinity, and they were breeding specifically for size, right? So they were trying to breed the biggest, physically most massive cow they could. And they were going to use that as the template off of which to breed the auroch, right? And or the nouveau auroch, if you will. What up, Judo Fly Productions?
How's it going,
bro?
We got great. Yes, we got some good things going on. Hopefully, over there on that one.
Absolutely.
Try to make a couple of short films. Definitely want everybody to know. You know, I'm not trying to troll or anything with that. That's why I use the same avatar and stuff. But you did get 2 likes from me. I did do that today. Shoot you.
So the other school of thought was done, I believe, in either France or Britain. It was done by a British bloke, and I don't remember his name, but he was of the opinion that if you could make the cow mean enough, it would develop the size in the wild, right? Or angry enough. I don't know exactly what his template was that he was using to make his faux auroch, his nouveau auroch. But yeah, copy the link, everybody. All 6 of you.
All it takes. So these things were aggressive. They were like more aggressive than cattle.
Well, back in the day, before the Bronze Age, up until about the mid-Bronze Age, most of the people who considered themselves kings of Europe had killed an auroch, right? It was part of in the early days of civilization, slaying an auroch was part of the ascension ceremony to the throne. And so these things were hellaciously common for a while until population rose enough to make them uncommon, and cows were owned, but aurochs were not. And so when you found an auroch, it was perfectly okay to go and kill it up until the Middle Bronze Age, at which point in time it became a killing offense if you were discovered having killed an auroch. And it was because to be a king, you were supposed to either capture or kill. I mean, it was different in different civilizations, but for the most part, if you were going to be king and you were in Middle Europe, the Iberian Peninsula, that area, yeah, you were going to have to go kill a big fucking cow. You had to bring the head back or something like that.
Yeah.
It was so common that some of the Greek myths actually mention creatures that probably were aurochs. Like when Jason has to do not Jason, maybe it was Jason. Anyway, there was one of them that had to go deal with the Minotaur.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. The Minotaur being kind of from the auroch that you're talking about.
Well, that's why the also there's the discussion of the Apis bull, but that's totally a different talk. That's why the Minotaur is often shown looking the way it does, is because they use an auroch build for the Minotaur. The guy that was turned into a Minotaur was a prince, and so it would make sense that he would have encountered an auroch. Anyway, aurochs.
Hello, everyone. Dr. Polaris here. Of all
Hello,
the
Dr.
domesticated
Polaris.
animals reared by humans, the largest and most imposing are the several species of bovines that live alongside us, namely the water buffaloes, yaks, and of course the cattle, utilized for their meat and milk, as well as their ability to pull heavy loads. These animals originate from several different species of wild bovines that were domesticated independently multiple times and in multiple places. However, the subject of today's episode, the fearsome extinct aurochs, gave rise to the so-called taurine cattle that originated in Eurasia and Africa, and were then later exported around the world beginning in the early modern period. This impressive animal, while generally similar to some of the more archaic modern cattle breeds in appearance, possessed its own unique suite of anatomical traits. For one, the skull was proportionally larger and more elongated than in domestic cattle.
That's too bad.
While the legs were longer, with the overall build being more athletic, possessing strongly muscled necks and shoulders. Although overall size varied by location and time, the aurochs was generally larger than domestic cattle,
That didn't work at all.
with the most massive bulls standing about 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weighing up to 1,500 kilograms, or about 3,310 pounds. Significant dimorphism was present, with bulls being much larger than cows.
Cow penis.
Mature males were also black in color, with a white stripe running along the back, while the cows were reddish-brown. Like their modern relatives, aurochs almost certainly lived in small herds, particularly during the winter, while these groups fractured during the summer months. Social status in the herd was probably established by fighting and display, with both bulls and cows taking part. During the mating season, bulls would engage in violent clashes in order to establish breeding rights, with fossil evidence suggesting that these encounters could be fatal. Calves were born in spring and would have stayed.
I'm going to tell you, I don't dislike the way it looks, the layout this way. There's really no room on a phone screen to put more than a couple of people, right? So, like, looking at it, Where's it at? I lost it. So I can do it. Kabam. We got 4 people and a border, right? Kadoosh. 4 people, almost no border. Just me, right? Well, that's no good because I'm not sharing it that way. This one comes out pretty good. I think I can do better. I need to put 2 of the people, like, number 1 should be where number 4 is, and number 2 should be where number 6 is, right? And that would put us down here just above the Caucasian Sasquatch logo, and all of the rest of this would be open until people joined, and it would slowly populate around the outside instead of doing it from a top-down approach. Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking out loud myself. I'm looking at it on the screen and then again on my phone, and they are not a 1-for-1 comparison. The phone looks a hair different. There's a little bit of difference there. And so I'm just trying to figure out where exactly those differences are. Like, for instance, on my screen over here, when I'm doing this, my hand is being cut off right here at the edge of the damn message. But over here on the screen, it goes out way past the message. I don't know. It's all weird.
With their mothers until they were strong enough to join the herd, the young would have been preyed upon by a variety of predators, including wolves, hyenas, and brown bears, while the herd would have provided quite a formidable protection, as in many wild bovids today. According to historical records, the aurochs was fast for its size and could be incredibly dangerous when provoked, having little fear of humans. Classified as Bos primigenius, the aurochs first...
Wasn't there a big giant bull that Hercules had to go kill? There was a big boar, and there was a lion. Wasn't there a big bull too?
Man, I can't remember.
I think so.
Seems like the kind of thing there'd be over there, right?
appeared during the Middle Pleistocene, roughly 780,000 years ago. Although exactly where the species originated is currently uncertain, at present, the oldest known fossils hail from North Africa, and are represented by a single skull from Tunisia. Therefore, some paleontologists have argued that the aurochs, as well as the genus Bos as a whole, originated in Africa and then later spread into Eurasia, while others have placed the origin of this...
All right. Damn. Okay, wait. Let's change that right quick. We'll go to this. Now we can see all the names. So currently, all of these are extant, right? The American buffalo being a virtually unique... Or no, that's not the American buffalo. The bison. What's a bison? Oh, my God. The bantang. All right, so that's wild. I'm going to have to get more familiar with cattle lineages, I suppose.
Animal in the Indian subcontinent, having evolved there from the earlier Bos acutifrons. Phylogenetic studies have found the aurochs, as well as its domesticated modern descendants, to be the most basal members of the genus Bos, probably diverging during the early Pleistocene. Fossils of the aurochs are common in India from the Middle Pleistocene onwards, while the oldest European representatives of the species have been recovered from central Italy and date to roughly 500,000 years ago. During the Pleistocene, this animal possessed a very wide range, spanning from the Iberian Peninsula to Korea and Japan. It was also native to North Africa above the Sahara. Analysis of the locales in which the aurochs was found indicates that it preferred grassy plains, woodland edges, and wetlands. In terms of diet, the aurochs was a mixed browser grazer, consuming grasses, leaves, twigs, and mast such as acorns. It was not a cold-adapted animal, with the European populations retreating into temperate Mediterranean refugia during glacial periods, where it lived alongside other megafaunal species, such as the straight-tusked elephant Paleoloxodon antiquus, the narrow-nosed rhino Stephanorhinus hemitochus, and the huge deer Megaloceros. Despite the large size and formidable nature of the aurochs, these animals were certainly not immune to predation as adults, being hunted by Panthera.
Yeah, You was right about Hercules. It was the Cretan bull. It was one of his 12 labors.
Cool. I didn't think I'd smoke that much weed. I mean, my mom was insistent that I learned all of the Greek and Norse myths. The problem is I learned them all, but they're all quite similar in some cases, and I'll mix up who did what, when, and why.
Yeah, you remember that series with Hercules?
Yeah, Kevin Sorbo.
He's fighting. No, not the Kevin Sorbo guy, though. Different guy. He's different. It's like a 2005 Hercules.
Movies?
No, it was like a series.
Huh.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
As well. There's a cartoon as well.
Well, I'll be honest with you. 2005. That was a time period when I was working a lot out of town. I didn't have a TV for the most part. Right. So.
Yeah, the same. I had a big break from the TV, and then I didn't even get back into the TV before I found YouTube and all that jazz. Probably about 5 years ago. So I watched the third season of Vikings, and then lost track of all of it. So the good thing is I've got plenty of stuff to go back on the weekend and kick back and binge if I get my ass off of YouTube. But that's probably not going to happen.
You ever tried to watch Lost?
Not yet, bub. Not yet. That or I hate to admit,
I have
Star Wars. I have yet to watch any of the Star Wars.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I apologize, but
Battlestar Galactica, maybe?
No way, man. I'm under a rock.
All right, stay under your fucking rock. Here's a cow.
Gombazoigensis, Homotherium, cave lions, wolves, hyenas, and humans. In fact, the aurochs and humans lived alongside each other for many tens of thousands of years, with the animal clearly leaving a mark on many different cultural groups. The aurochs is widely represented in Upper Paleolithic cave paintings in the Chauvet and Lascaux caves in southern France, dating to between 36,000 and 21,000 years ago, while the wild bovine features a symbol of power and sexual prowess across the ancient Levant and Middle East. Unlike many other megafaunal mammals, the aurochs survived the end Pleistocene extinction event, probably due to its preference for warmer, more temperate climates. During the Holocene, Bos primigenius retained a wide distribution, with its main predators now being lions, tigers, wolves, and Homo sapiens, with this period being witness of the decline and eventual extinction of the animal, down almost entirely to human interference. A major part of this process began with the gradual domestication of the aurochs, which began in the Neolithic Revolution in the Fertile Crescent, where cattle hunted and kept by Neolithic farmers gradually decreased in size between 9,800 and 7,500 BCE. Aurochs bones found at Murabet and Göbekli Tepe are larger in size than cattle bones from later Neolithic settlements in northern Syria, demonstrating the early stages of domestication. Results of genetic research indicate that all modern domestic taurine cattle from Europe, the Levant, and the Middle East arose from just 80 aurochs tamed in southeastern Anatolia and northern Syria about 10,500 years ago. These animals would have been members of the Eurasian auroch subspecies Bos primigenius. Meanwhile, an independent domestication event took place in the Indian subcontinent between 10,000 and 8,000 years ago and gave rise to the modern zebu Bos indicus. These differ from taurine cattle breeds in their possession of a fatty hump at the shoulders, a large dewlap, and...
But can they breed? I don't know. Seems like an interesting question to me.
The ability to withstand higher temperatures. Zebu are descendants of the Indian aurochs Bos primigenius nomadicus, which possibly became extinct roughly 3,800 years ago due to habitat loss and interbreeding with its domestic relatives, although the bones of Indian aurochs are difficult to differentiate from those of zebu. A third initial domestication event occurred in North Africa that involved the local aurochs populations there, with modern African Sangha cattle having a mixture of indigenous Indian and taurine ancestry. It is currently uncertain as to when the African aurochs became.
So yes, apparently they can breed. Cool.
Extinct, with the Egyptian populations at least seemingly disappearing by around 1000 BCE. In Europe, aurochs populations were disrupted by the spread of Greek and Roman cultures in the Mediterranean, although remained more widespread in the forests of Central and Northern Europe. In southern Scandinavia and the British Isles, the animal died out roughly 3,000 years ago due to the
I guess not. Okay.
What happened with
its preferred forested habitats,
I
while
was
in
just-
Eastern Europe,
I was checking my email to see if anything had come up.
Golly, look at that
aurochs
dude.
provide
Look how muscular, man. There's bulls out here where I live that I wouldn't want anything to do with, but to imagine one of them not fearing, just charging you because it's seen you is crazy.
Yeah, I've only had to deal with a few bulls, usually on the quest for fungi.
Fungi. Yep.
The fun guys.
much longer, persisting in marshy woodlands while being hunted by members of the nobility. The range of the species contracted until the last known individual, an adult female, died in 1627 of natural causes. However, a horn core excavated in 2020 in Sofia, Bulgaria, was identified as being from an aurochs. The archaeological layer in which it was found was dated to the second half of the 17th or the first half of the 18th century, suggesting that the aurochs may have survived in Bulgaria until that date. Despite the extinction of the species, there have been several attempts to resurrect the aurochs beginning in the 20th century. The most notable of these were undertaken in Germany by Lutz Heck in the 1920s and 30s, who desired to recreate the aurochs as part of a plan to create a supposedly mythological prehistoric German landscape. Lutz, alongside
Thank
his
you for
brother
the like.
Heinz, travelled across Europe, selecting everything from fighting cattle in Spain to Hungarian steppe cattle
What
to
up, John?
recreate
Welcome
their
in, brother.
version of the aurochs. They studied skulls and cave paintings to decide what their aurochs should look like, and both claimed success at reviving the animal by the mid-1930s. Their cattle were tall, with large horns and aggressive dispositions, capable of surviving with limited human care, and in modern times would come to be known as Heck cattle. With backing from his powerful ally Hermann Goering, these Heck cattle were exported around Europe and were treated as if they were truly recreations of Bos primigenius, which they weren't. They were simply selectively bred members of Bos taurus, with some vaguely aurochs-like traits, a situation reminiscent of the recent dire wolf recreation efforts by Colossal
Yeah.
and the media frenzy surrounding them. As critics have pointed out, an aurochs-like phenotype does not equal an aurochs-like genotype, with Heck cattle not only being lighter and shorter than Bos primigenius, but also possessing a proportionally smaller skull, less muscular shoulders, and more upward curving horns. Also, unlike the aurochs, Heck cattle have highly variable coat colours, with some bulls having a similar lighter coloration to cows. In the opinion of some experts, other domestic cattle breeds, such as the Spanish fighting bull, resemble the aurochs at least as much as Heck cattle. Indeed, there is a great irony in that the wild aurochs has vanished in direct correlation to the continued rise of its modern domestic descendants, which have essentially taken over the world and are implicated in the extinction of other species due to their destructive impact on the environment. Thanks for watching, everyone.
You're welcome. That was fun. Okay, so now we do this thing. Good enough. And then we do This thing. He's live. Got Gen X Jeff live. At least he was a minute ago. Ooh, I know what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know. She might not have enough subscribers to redirect to her, but we're gonna try. That's what I'm gonna do. Right? Because that's what goobers do.
Like goobers.
Yeah. Huh. That's weird. This stream has gotten almost exactly the same number of views as any other 2-hour stream I've done. Interesting that. All right, so we got Gregory the channel. English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Gregory the cameraman, Snark and Sass, Breakfast Tacos, Outliers in Exile, Chris Lestrange, Glenn Lawrence Presents, Wildest Wake Up Show, Sick 2210 Productions.
I've
Lawless
heard that name. I've never met Breakfast Taco. I don't think I've ever seen it.
He did a thing a couple of weeks ago now where Dusty, all right, so his Godless Engineer, I think was the name of the channel. Anyway, he did it. He had a debate with the guy. The guy's wife gets involved. Somebody said something to somebody else, and somebody said something back, and the dude rage quit. And he went up on Breakfast Tacos either the next day or a day or two later. I could probably grab that clip if we wanted. Anyway, I don't know. Actually, Breakfast Taco, I think he puts all that shit behind the paywall. I'd have to check. But he brought in Dusty and the Godless Engineer. The Godless Engineer was in there talking shit. Dusty come in and was like, "Hey, why are you talking shit?" The Godless Engineer tried to make him some kind of transphobe or something. Basically, what it come down to is he was involved in a semi-formal debate format, right? And that semi-formal debate format, in my opinion, implies that people not involved in the debate are not going to become involved in the debate, right? And his wife was riding shotgun, and somebody said something, and she responded directly to, I think it was Jim Bob, maybe? I think it was Jim Bob. Anyway, she responded directly to Jim Bob. Jim Bob responded to him, telling him to, get her out of, I can't remember, shut your fucking wife up, I think was something along the lines. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something along those lines. And that was kind of how that panned out. Was he rage quit and then was trying to make Dusty out to have been complacent in the whole thing, although he wasn't. I mean, he was just he just caught by stray freaking rounds because Godless Engineer didn't believe he could do anything against Jim Bob or whoever it was. I don't remember who it was, but they were a bit of a dick, and it sounds like some Jim Bob shit to do. And then Breakfast Tacos brings up what he calls some kind of a bloodbath thing where it's some kind of formalized debate, but he never said anything to Dusty about it, and they never had a discussion about there being a debate. So, I mean, it was kind of an artificial gotcha, and it still didn't work because all Dusty did was basically say, "How am I transphobic? How you're going to have to prove that I've done something transphobic just because somebody else said some shit and I didn't defend you, just white knight the fuck over there, has nothing to do with it." Yeah, okay. Adam 87, you can, as long as you leave a like, you can fuck off whenever you want. I mean, the show's over. I'm just chit-chatting with homie. Seeing what happens in the next 15 seconds. Right? Might have to go eat me some chicken. I like chicken.
We got some fish rolling right now.
Ooh, rolling.
Yeah, we're gonna do some fish and fries. We got some dead burn hamburgers in the freezer we need to cook. So we might just have a smorgasbord.
I did me some hamburgers and some big old red hot dogs.
Yeah, beef.
Well, I don't know what they are. I can't eat red, so I don't eat red. So I don't know what they are. But
they make some killer chicken hot dogs, dude. They make some killer chicken hot dogs.
He say he don't like the all-American beef franks. He wants the red hot dogs. I was like, okay. So I cooked some red hot dogs. I'm thinking he's talking hot, like the spicy hot dogs.
Yeah.
Those red ones might be what he's after. I don't know.
I like those Johnsonville, the jalapeno cheddar Johnsonville. They're like hot dogs. Golly, man, they're good. Any way you want to cook them, they're good. But I think it's pork.
You want to see a neat trick?
That's it.
Do it.
Welcome to space. What were you expecting? It's a dangerous place. Thank you for investing. Go there for your rota, there for your orders. Fill up these quotas, we'll bill for your quarters. Report to your foreman, but watch for marauders. Cause if you get eaten, there's fees for your mourners. Prosperity's there in the care of magnates. In halcyon heaven awaits. Did you think it was supposed to look like the poster? It mostly does, oh, if you'd only read closer. Just 10 short years to a new frontier. Snooze as you cruise and you'll wake up here. You've been trapped in that ship for an awful long time. So perhaps you have simply forgot what you signed. Oh, honestly, did you not read the colony policy that defined you as company property? That wavers your say in autonomy. The conglomerates got you in lock and key. We put the dollar back into idolatry. If you're upset, you can rent an apology. We are a family forged in bureaucracy. No I in teen, but there's con in economy. Were you expecting adventure? Were you hoping for fun? My friend, you're indentured and pleasures exempt from your tenure. So venture back down to your slum that's provided at generous prices. Your worth is determined by your sacrifices. A small term of service went down on the surface. Internment's a freebie that comes with the purchase. To earn the right to work. 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 To earn the right to give ourselves the right to die. Ourselves the right to live. To earn the right to die. To our little town, why don't you settle down? You just fill out the paperwork and you could look around. We're happy as can be inside the valley cannery. We live to pack the cans of meat and not to question where it's found until we end up in the ground around the corner in the yard. You know, we thought we liked the sound of finding glory in the stars. The borders taught us to be proud of never reaching very far. So we earn what we're allowed and give it right back at the bar. The ale to cure what ails you. Zero G brew, your favorite flavor. So work till you bleed, ennobled by labor, then purchase relief from your local retailer. If you'd rather drop dead, that's fine, but you know to dropping down dead, there's a fine. So you do your job and I'll do mine. I gotta meet a 6 foot deep bottom line. We make a fortune for the board by selling boredom door to door, because it's all that we deserve and it is all we can afford. The secrets of the universe and all the worlds to be explored, but our dreams are back on earth and now the work is our reward. And you'll be grateful for seats at the table, though it dips at one end and the bench is unstable. You may waste your days, but at least you were able to pay off off your grave. Since we leased you your cradle, be faithful and pray. We'll repay what you invest, behave as you slave for humanity's interest. On account that you're all on account and we're quickly amounting humanity's interest. You'd think that we'd sink to the brink of rebellion with markets dependent on peddling weapons. The architect tells them the secret to heaven is simply consuming whatever we sell them. We work to earn the right to work, 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 to earn the right to give ourselves the right to buy ourselves the right to live, to earn the right to die. Should've read the fine print, my friend. Should've read the fine print. You should've read the fine print, my friend. Should've read the fine print. Welcome to our little town. Why don't you settle down? You just fill out the paperwork and you can look around. We work and then 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 we end up in the ground. Welcome to our little town. Why don't you settle down? You just fill out the paperwork and you can look around. We work and then we work and then we work and then we work and then we should've read the fine print. And here and here and initial here. Welcome to the family.